Sanctions on a leader in a Mexican drug cartel.
The U.S. Treasury Department has sanctioned an international operator, the Sinaloa drug cartel, whose activities span the globe. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control blocked any U.S. properties of Jose Angel Rivera Zazueta and 2 other men. The department said Rivera Zazueta's network operates on a global scale with nodes in the U.S., Mexico, South and Central America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. He's said to be an importer of precursor chemicals from China to Mexico, which are then used to manufacture synthetic drugs, including fentanyl and meth. Over 70,000 Americans died of overdoses involving opioids in 2020, mainly fentanyl. I'm Norman Hall.
Police say 10 people were shot and wounded during a drive-by shooting in Lakeland, Florida. 2 of the victims critically injured. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston. Rising factory output led to strong U.S. sales at the end of last year, pushing General Motors' fourth quarter net income up 16%. The automaker said it made $2 billion from October through December, beating Wall Street estimates. Ford is cutting prices on its Mustang Mach-E electric SUV.
That's by as much as $6,000 just weeks after market leader Tesla made similar moves. The company is increasing production of the Mach-E this year and is taking advantage of streamlined costs to reduce prices across the board. The company says the price cuts are part of Ford's plan to keep the SUV competitive in a fast-changing market. John Scott reporting.
Meanwhile, high gas prices fueled record annual profits for ExxonMobil last year. The oil giant brought in nearly $9 billion in profits in the fourth quarter, $55 billion for the year. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Foggy Tuesday. Another freezing fog morning out there.
Freezing fog. I had to stop 3 times between here, dropping the kids off, and my home to scrape my windshield off. It's insane.
It's a lot of black ice out there, too.
It's real. Yeah, there's some serious slick spots.
Yeah, be careful, especially around intersections, corners, any place where puddles reside. Odds are pretty good that's a little ice skating rink right there this morning, so be careful. I know, just backing out of my driveway, I hit a little spot, and I was like, man, I'm sliding just backing out of the driveway. Yeah. And then, matter of fact, when I turned on to 3rd off of Main here, and I hit an ice patch, and I could feel my vehicle wanting to slide a little bit as well, too. Thanks to my expert driving skills, I'm able to navigate.
That's right.
But you got to be careful.
I'll put this way. I was real glad I was driving on roads with nobody around me, because at one point I took off from a stoplight and started sliding into the other lane, like not realizing it until I was almost in the other lane.
Yeah.
And then I self-corrected. But yeah, it's bad out there, folks.
Yeah. So be careful. I mean, you can do it.
Yeah. You can do it.
Just drive defensively.
There you go. I like that.
That's the term they used to teach us in driver's ed. Drive defensively.
My dad used to teach defensive driving classes.
Yeah.
Like, part of his job was he would go to different businesses that were under New Mexico Mutual and would give defensive driving classes. So I, as his son, had to take this class like 3 different times. I'm a very defensive driver, for what it's worth.
He will defend his driving to the day.
I will defend myself in my driving. Yes. I'm a very defensive driver, but I do drive defensively, offensively, if that makes sense. Like I'm driving defensively, but I'm also going to get there in a timely manner. You know what I'm saying?
It's like he's the mullet of driving.
I'm hauling business up here, throwing parties back here.
That's right.
That's just when the fishtailing happens. That's fine.
That's right. He's if his driving was a hairstyle, I'd call it the mullet. Well, happy Tuesday. Be careful as so maybe allow yourself a few extra seconds to get to work this morning. So maybe leave a little earlier. Hey, what happened to my CVE hat there? Poor bear. It looks like someone took a baseball bat to the side of his head there. What happened? I just looked up and saw poor bear. His glasses disheveled. He's got a dent in his pink CVE helmet. And did someone get angry?
I don't know.
Someone get salty here and abuse my bear.
That seems like a weird place to get mad.
I know.
I'm going to get mad, but only in this corner. And only on that spot of this corner, because everything else is fine.
Very passive-aggressive anger. I just noticed. I was like, man, he looks beat up. What happened?
I've noticed, and maybe this is just me, but I'll be like watching TikTok videos, and it's like they put stuff in the background just to mess with people.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so.
Like Naked Gun.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Okay, so now go with me on this.
All right.
There's a way you can take egg yolks and turn them into jam. Okay? So what you do is you separate your yolks.
They make them into cakes and stuff all the time. They do. So I can see it. You separate
your yolks from your whites, and then you completely submerge them in hot sauce.
Okay.
Put that in your fridge for a week, and you can then remove the yolks, and they're like jam-like, so you can spread them on like toast and stuff. So it's egg yolk jam. It's basically ferments them. But the whole time I'm watching this video, when he puts the eggs in the fridge, he puts them on top of, in his refrigerator, on top of a copy of The Notebook on DVD. And I'm like, why is that there? Yeah. And then people in the comments were like, why did you have The Notebook in your refrigerator?
Yeah.
And I figured out after watching it several times, it's because he needed an even surface to put the thing that he was putting the egg yolks on.
Yeah,
but
that's what was handy.
Why The Notebook? And people in the comments were like, that when you put your yolks on top of your copy of The Notebook on DVD in your refrigerator. We all have that moment. That's a universally connecting moment.
One would think maybe he went through, I need something flat. Oh, here's my DVD collection. Which one I don't mind ruining?
Right.
Oh, here's The Notebook.
It was that or my copy, my unopened, still sealed in plastic copy of Fireproof starring Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
True story. A pastor's wife one time gave me a copy of Fireproof starring Kirk Cameron, and I still to this day have it on my shelf wrapped in plastic.
You haven't gotten around to watching that yet?
And it's ironically a movie about trying to save a marriage. You'd think I would have popped it in at some point trying to, maybe rekindle something, but yeah.
I'm going to store this piece of information.
Still in plastic.
I'm going to store this piece of information because I'm going to store it and keep it in my pocket. And then, like, from years now, I'm going to be like, what are you doing this weekend? Going to watch Firestorm?
Going to watch Fireproof starring Kirk Cameron?
Yeah,
Going to finally crack open that plastic?
What you got planned for the weekend? I'm going to watch Fireproof.
That's a feel-good movie of the year. I feel like it's done.
Yeah, I need to keep that little piece of information in my pocket. Bust that out.
He's going to jot down Fireproof.
Yeah, bust out when least expected. Very good. Well,
not for nothing, but that's bully tactics, my friend.
I'm a passive-aggressive bully.
That's a callback that nobody gets.
Yeah. Those are my favorite kind.
Oh, I love them.
They're flexes that abuse no one but myself.
The invisible callbacks, those are the best.
Yeah, they make me happy. And no one else going to do it. By golly, and I'm going to make myself happy. A kid, of course. Yep. But we do have a full slate for you for today's show.
Indeed.
I think our guest is here. I thought I heard people in the other room there. Chris Samuel going to join us. And technically, I believe he's with the Roswell High Band Boosters. However, today, Chris and I are going to be promoting Goddard and Roswell High.
We're uniting.
Separate events
that
they've got going on. But both our bands are really trying to raise money for so they can, for equipment and get to their various competitions and things. So they need your help. So if you can eat food, delicious food, at a couple of events here, you're saving America and helping these band members. So
doing the Lord's work.
That's right. So I'm going to invite you to eat noodles and pancakes, brother.
Not together. Although if you want to.
No, they're two different dates, unless you want to, but yeah. So come on, for America.
For America.
No, I mean, it is a great way to help out. All you got to do is eat pancakes and noodles. So we'll talk about those events, but they'll make more sense here in a bit. But so Chris will join us in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour of 8:15, I'm going to replay our interview with Jason Burke from American Legion. I always do that. VFW Post 12184. They've got their golf tournament coming up, but they're looking for sponsors and everything. The golf tournament's in May, so it's not like next week, but now's the time. The time has come. Oh, you Australia's out there. Out where the river broke. Anyway, we'll play that interview for you here about 8:15. There's like 6 people that know what I just did right there, and the rest, what was that noise? Again, it made me happy.
Exactly, those are the best ones.
45 degrees. The time has come. I love that song.
Beds Are Burning, right?
Yes.
What is the band's name?
They're from Australia.
I know. I can't think of the band offhand. Outfield? No.
No. Now I'm blanking. What were their names? I'll think of it here in a second. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15. Say that, Roy?
It's like midnight.
Yeah, Midnight Oil.
Midnight
Oil. Thank you.
Yep.
Damn, that song. There was actually 2 songs that got MTV Run. That was that one, and there was another one which I can't remember off the top of my head. I barely remember Midnight Oil, but I'll remember Sean's. What's it called again? Tomb Raider? I ain't forgotten already.
I'm not gonna feed you that. It's called Fireproof.
Yes,
starring Kirk Cameron. Oh, man.
Finally, in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we got a replay interview we had last Friday. County Manager Bill Williams joined us and brought a guest, Chief Financial Officer Annabelle Barraza as well. So we had a great conversation, talk about the last meeting and all that good stuff. So we'll play that interview in the 9 o'clock hour.
What's funniest about the fireproof thing is that most people listening don't realize this is actually a callback to like 20 years ago when for 35 minutes you lambasted me on loving the movie The Notebook.
I
know you know, but they don't know. For like a good solid half of an hour, he sat there and just destroyed me on the movie The Notebook. Which I stand by the fact that it is a cinematic masterpiece, sir.
I actually sat through that whole thing just because of that conversation. And that's... I'm going to say this right now. I'd rather sit through the 12-hour Lord of the Rings nonsense than another viewing of The Notebook.
Oh, come on. That part where he literally climbed the Ferris wheel, that didn't do a little something for you?
No.
When he left his room at the nursing home, spoiler alert, to climb in bed with his beau.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Die hand in hand. Spoiler alert.
You weren't even a little moved. You don't have a heart, sir. You don't have a heart.
I was like, this is the cheesiest, stupidest thing I ever seen.
But you never seen Nights in Rodanthe.
I have not.
If you think The Notebook is bad, it gets worse. That's one of the better ones. That's like in the M. Night Shyamalan collection. That's like his Sixth Sense.
See, now he's really bait me. He's like, I'm trying to get him to see Nights in Rodanthe. No way.
It's Rodanthe, sir.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'll put it right there next to Chocolat.
Next to Fireproof, starring Kirk Cameron.
Well, all right. Well, actually, I'm gonna get. What was that movie? Fire Jumper. The other movie with Howie Long when he was
Fire Jumper.
It was a movie that came out like right after he did that Broken Arrow movie where he was like a firefighter. I think it was called.
You've got a guest. I got to Google this. We'll talk about this next hour.
I think it's called Fire Jumper. I think that's what it was called. It was really bad. Might be there with Fireproof. But anyway, it's 7:17. Let's get you up to date on the weather, which It's a little cold out there, man, and going to be a little cold.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have stationary front overhead. We might get a little bit of freezing drizzle through about mid-morning, and then cloudy and cold through the afternoon. We'll be staying in the mid to upper 30s today. Cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Some freezing drizzle possible. And then tomorrow looks about the same. Freezing drizzle in the morning, and then a few afternoon rain showers, partly cloudy, and going up to 40. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 25 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 92%. Winds currently out of the east at 13 miles per hour. We do have a freezing fog advisory. That's going to stay in effect through 10 o'clock this morning because guess why? It's freezing fog out there. Yeah, that's why. So be careful out there. We are expecting areas of freezing fog here before 8 o'clock. Till actually about 11 this morning, could be seeing some of that. Mostly cloudy today. We're not getting out of the 30s. 36 our official high with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 24. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. For Wednesday, all right, this might take a second. There's like a paragraph here. We got a 40% chance of snow showers before 11 tomorrow. Then scattered rain and snow showers after that. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, high of 39. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sorry, kids. Little or no snow accumulation expected. Sorry. It's just pretty to look at. Allegedly. This is what they're telling me. Tomorrow night, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain showers before 11, then a slight chance of it changing over to freezing rain. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 27, south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow before 11 a.m., partly cloudy, then gradually sunning up with a high near 56, north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then all that cold and everything going to blow right up by Friday and the weekend. Friday, sunny 60. Saturday, sunny 67, and sunny and 66 on Sunday. So all this cold and dreary misery is gone by Friday. The sun comes out. We're back in short-sleeve shirts and having a good weekend. So there we go. All right, it is 20 minutes after 7. We're going to take a 3-minute, about a 3.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to talk with the band boosters. We got, it's here we go. Say, we can all get along. We got blue and red in a room together today. Look at that. He's even got the one love shirt here. We are very cool. So we'll talk with our RHS and JHS band boosters on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,245 head of cattle sold on Monday on a higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold 4 to 8 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 3 higher. Packer cows and bulls $2 to $5 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $2.30, $2.35. 3 to 400 pound heifers $2, $2.05. 4 to 500 pound steers $2.14, $2.30. 4 to 500 pound heifers $1.92, $2. 5 to 600 pound steers $188, $214. 5 to 600 pound heifers $167, $192. 6 700 pound steers $173, $188. 6 700 pound heifers $162, $167. 7 800 pound steers $165, $173. 7 800 pound heifers $155, $162. Packer cows $75 to $91.50. Canner and cutter cows $60 to $70. Packer bulls $98 to $106.50. Feeder bulls $70 to $80. Top half the cow calf pairs $1,300 to $1,500 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,100 to $1,350 per head. We do appreciate the business. We will talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
You do you. I mean, it's your birthday, you know. Glom as many free things off people that'll give you stuff as possible on your birthday. That's the goal. Good morning. It is 24 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, not just our Roswell High, but our Goddard High Band Boosters as well. Of course, we have Ellie and Diane with the Goddard High Band Boosters, and then Chris and Denise back with us from the Roswell High Band Boosters. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Wow.
That was like in
Unison
stereo, right?
and everything.
Oh, we are band people, right?
Well, you guys have spawned band kids, maybe band members yourself, so it's in the blood.
Right, exactly.
Unison and in concert. Yeah, that's just in the blood here. So.
Well, thanks for having us on again. We appreciate
Anytime.
getting to come talk band stuff.
Anytime. It's great that, of course, both schools have a great band and a great boosters and really do a great job of just getting out there and having fun at events and things. And of course, all of that is really leading up to the competitions and to the competitive side of band. But really, for us, we get to enjoy all your practices. Really, you get to come and do halftime shows and do various events and things, or go to special events and things different, whether it's with the school or with a car dealership or something. We always see the bands out there, and it's great to see. So, but we are now getting into what I'm guessing a busy season for the band in terms of competitions and things like that coming up here in the spring and late spring semesters of the school year. And we all know that it's not free to move and house and feed.
Feeding teenagers. Oh, my word.
An army of teenage kids. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts and things. And of course, the school helps with some, but it really is some.
Yeah.
But it really is, this is where the boosters come in. And they come in and say, we're going to support the kids and we're going to help. And now, don't get me wrong. The kids are busting their humps too, doing the work and everything else.
Practicing,
yeah,
for sure. Absolutely.
But the boosters are kind of helping with logistics. Say, hey, we're going to set up some events with like what we're about to tell you about here, and then the kids come out, work their butt off, and give you delicious foods and things, and then you give them money so they can go do band and you go compete here at the state levels and. Who knows? The world.
Yes.
Yeah, this April, both of the bands actually get to travel to Rio Rancho.
Okay.
And it's basically like the state championship for bands.
Okay.
You actually have to get a 1 in marching competition season.
So you got to qualify to get there.
Which is a superior rating. Woo woo.
Yes, 1 for us non-band folks. When you get a 1, that's the high score.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a strike in bowling,
exactly.
Or it is the best, the highest possible.
I don't know.
Yes, home run in baseball.
And then you had to do sweepstakes, which is a 1 in concert band, a 1 in sight reading for concert season.
Okay.
And then the following season, you qualify to go to this.
Okay.
And I think this is the first time that both of our bands have been able to go to this.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
that's got to be great.
It's really exciting.
I know with rules, there's a whole lot of them there. But can you all pull resources at all for stuff like this, or do you have to really, in the legalized world of things, really do it on your own just for paperwork and all that. But I didn't know if y'all were. It's like, since both schools are going the same place, can we, work the logistics here together and use them, or is that start getting into weird territory there legally?
Like, for instance, when our kids went to like solo and ensemble, it's not the entire band going, just certain kids are participating. And so we have shared buses with Goddard. Like, so it really depends
on the size of the band, how much of the band you need to take. Right. It's like, hey, we can fit all in one bus, pile in,
Exactly.
Normally, if it's the entire band's going, then they're so big.
No room. Not enough, I would
Which is a great problem to have.
Roswell High needs 2 buses. Goddard is at a full bus by themselves now, so.
That's great.
We use 2 buses.
Oh, you take 2 buses?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Excuse you, sir.
So
I was misinformed.
Well, these are, again, like Denise saying, these are good problems to have, because we want to get.
For sure.
We would love to have more kids. We need a third bus for the band, because we have that many kids that love to be a part of the band and continue on. I don't know what the attrition rate is when they start, say, in middle school or elementary school, by the how many stick with it by the time they get to high school. I don't know. I imagine that number kind of dwindles as kids. You kind of weed out the kids that find other interests, or life happens and they just get other distractions and things. Right. And they're kids.
Well, in the past couple of years, we've had issues with keeping band directors. The only band director that has been there for an extended period of time is Miss Bain at Brendo.
Okay.
All the other band directors are pretty much new.
Gotcha.
Dr.
Mr. Everett has been there for a while.
Well,
he's talking middle school.
Oh, middle school.
Okay. Gotcha.
Dr. Burrell has been there. I think this is his 2nd or 3rd year.
At Mountain View.
At Mountain View. We have a new one this year at Mesa, because the former Mesa band director actually moved up to assistant principal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then since Dr. Gomez moved over to Roswell High, we have a new one at Sierra, and this is his 2nd year. So we have a growth stall, except for at Brendo. Goddard's going to have a bigger band the next few years, because Miss Bain is building that program.
Nice.
Building that program.
Huge 6th grade class.
Well, and most people don't realize, that's the farm system for the high schools.
Exactly.
And so to see this kind of activity going on at the middle school level bodes well for when these kids are becoming 9th and 10th, high school age students here. So that's an awesome thing. So
yes.
So we've got more on the horizon with both bands here, both high school bands, and the future's looking bright here. So
yes.
So all we need to do is for you to come and eat noodles and pancakes with us.
That's it. What a great segue.
And see, guys, we have you set up for early Valentine's.
Yeah, listen to this, guys.
There you go. Okay.
He has a plan.
You contact Goddard, and you get pancakes. You surprise her with pancakes first thing Saturday morning.
There you go.
From 8 to 10.
From 8 to 10 at Applebee's.
Yes. Applebee's got you covered. They're going to be cooking the pancakes. Is it all you can eat? As many?
No, it's pancakes with some eggs and sausage and drink.
So a full breakfast here.
Good company.
Nice.
And this is February 11th.
Yes. That's that 2 weeks?
Not this Saturday, but next
Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be the Saturday before the Valentine's Day weekend.
Exactly.
Right. Hence the getting the lay of the land here. So we start with a breakfast at Applebee's on that Saturday. Again, tickets are only $10 a piece.
Correct.
And again, all of that money goes to support the Goddard High Band and all the activities there.
Half.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll do the fundraising with Applebee's. So
yes.
we do the half of it.
Oh, I got you. There's a cost for doing business at Applebee's. I got you.
Gotta pay for the pancakes. Right.
As long as Applebee's get their little taste, and then the rest goes to the Goddard.
But they could always bring extra money and give tips.
This is true.
You know what? That's true.
Tips are
you
out,
can't touch your tips. They get to give those. So tip heavy, yeah. And these kids are going to be tired, especially the tuba one. The ones that carries those big instruments all the time. Now they got to carry pancakes.
Ooh, bass drum.
Yeah. But even the piccolo players, they're not. But piccolo players aren't used to carrying heavy things either.
Yeah, piccolo players.
So maybe tip them generously well too. But that's going to be again 2 Saturdays from now on February the 11th from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Applebee's. And you're like, Applebee's ain't open at 8 a.m. Exactly. That's why they're opening up for breakfast to so they can accommodate.
And
so,
if anybody happens to drive by and sees that they're open and wants a plate of pancakes, and
exactly,
they're more than welcome.
If you're just learning about it, get a $10 breakfast, and
That's
that's
right.
pretty cheap in this day and age.
For sure.
You seen the price of eggs at the store?
Oh my word!
Just saying, $10 breakfast is a bargain right now. So definitely come out, be a part, and it's a lot of fun because the kids have a good time, and you come and eat pancakes and eggs and bacon, and hopefully we can get a nice big stack of cash raised for these kids. So come, bring your friends. Let's fill that Applebee's from 8 to 10 with every table. Just, as soon as you go out, there's another table going in to eat another stack of pancakes. The chefs are going to be in the back. They're going to have
Carpal tunnel.
pancake elbow or pancake wrist or whatever. Yeah. Tell them in a pinch. I know our legislator, Greg Nybert, is the guy that's in charge of making like Mickey Mouse pancakes at the Kiwanis pancake breakfasts. Oh. So if you need a specialty guy, he's a little busy in Santa Fe right now, but maybe we can coax him down to make, it's for Goddard High. Can you make some Mickey Mouse or maybe rocket-shaped pancakes? I don't know. Between his lawyering and his legislating, I don't know how much time his gourmet pancake making is.
But it's for the kids. I mean,
it's for the kids. Exactly. So maybe reach out to him, see if he's available on the 11th to make some shaped pancakes and things. But very good. So mark it on your calendars, and we'll remind you ad nauseum between now and that date here, February 11th, Saturday morning, 8 to 10. Can they RSVP, or is it just show up at 8? Or
just show up.
Okay, just show up with an appetite and $10, and you're ready to eat here. And then maybe another 10 or 20 to get to tip your server. Or 1,000.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean that would be great too.
Suitcase full of
Chris
cash.
dreams big. Good job. Good job.
Perhaps
we'll take anything.
Being the president, you get to see the financials a lot, and you're like, oh wow.
And if you're cash light, bring your Rolexes or your Hope Diamonds, whatever you got. Well, we know a guy we can fence. I mean, get a good value. I'm kidding.
Moving on.
Just kidding. Eat your pancakes.
Right.
But don't completely fill up, or at least you got a few days to digest in between here for
a few hours.
A few hours.
Yeah, we have you packed full on the 11th.
Okay, I was thinking it's a different day, but it is the same.
Sure enough,
it is. All right.
Do that, $20, you get your Valentine breakfast, and then for $35, you could come to Roswell High.
There you go.
And you can get a spaghetti dinner and listen to jazz. And we're going to have roses that we're going to sell at
so kind of the romantic, Applebee's is more family fun.
Exactly. Bring the whole family for Applebee's.
Right. But maybe that evening, Roswell High is more of a just the two of us intimate type, You got the band doing the jazz, maybe anybody can sing like Barry White in the band or anything, or maybe we can get some choir folks over to do some Barry White.
It is interesting because we do have quite a few band kids that are in choir also.
Double dip here.
So, right. We could make that happen.
The ones that have to blow into an instrument might have trouble, but the ones that are beating on things can sing. But yeah, so you're going to have a lovely spaghetti dinner here. The jazz will be playing to kind of set the mood, and love to have you come. Now this one you can pre-register for, right?
Yes, we do need to have a head count for our caterers.
Because guess what? The Roswell High Gym is not a restaurant, and they just don't normally just do food and things out of there, so they have to bring it in.
Well, Right. It is going to be in the Commons area.
Okay.
There at Roswell High. And like I said, we do have to let our caterers have a head count. So we're selling tickets through the 5th.
Yep, through Friday.
Through,
Yes.
through, is it
Friday's
this Friday?
the 3rd.
Oh, Friday. Yeah, through Sunday, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
But anyway, and we have it on Facebook, the Roswell High Band Facebook. They can reach out to either me or Chris.
Okay. But there is the RHS Band Boosters Facebook page that you can log on to or find, and then
we'll get
register
in
your
contact.
tickets.
Or they could even call Dr. Gomez at the school, and he could pass on our information. So,
Absolutely.
If there's any businesses that would like to sponsor a table, you get 8 guests. You get a little thank you poster. It's $175
for the whole table.
For the whole table,
and that seats 8.
That seats 8.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Very good.
So,
of course, if you can't find a date, it's just $20.
That's right.
But if you have found someone, you can come together as a couple for $35. So, you know what? Y'all need a single section. Y'all need tables for just the $20 to have a single. And then let's see if we can make some magic here.
Hey, there we go. And then we can charge them more.
There you go. It's a love connection.
Yeah, you got the couples that celebrating Valentine's Day side, and then you got like the Singles Awareness Day, the other what people used to call Sad Day as Singles Awareness Day, and then those folks can be there together, trying to get over to the other side. You know what I'm saying? Meeting people and mingling and things like that.
Or I mean, if you're not up for the dating game at this dinner, you can just bring a friend
There you
and
go.
get the couple prize. I'm just saying.
And just sit awkwardly eating spaghetti and don't talk. Just kidding.
Mike, you are not helping.
But maybe
I'm just saying, I'm trying to get you to meet people, you know? Maybe recreate Lady and the Tramp, you know, with the whole spaghetti and the
Oh, my word.
By the end of the evening, everyone's having fun. And the Band Boosters have raised a whole bunch of cash.
That's the plan.
And bring extra money, too, because our spaghetti pot is empty.
Okay.
So we will have an area for tips.
Okay.
And you can get your picture taken.
Nice.
So.
Yes, we have a local photographer.
Okay.
Beautiful You. Oh, she's going to kill me.
Creations, I believe. It's my niece. You would think I would know what her picture is.
Alicia, we love you.
Uncle screwed up my band and my business name again.
But she does do like professional photography, and so she's going to be set up there to take pictures.
Great.
She has a backdrop, some little props, and it's I believe $5.
$5, yeah.
And she'll take a picture of you, your friends, you and your couple, whatever.
Awesome.
So to commemorate.
Yeah. Keep a keepsake memento. And
Yes.
Absolutely. It is a Valentine's Day themed weekend after all. So,
Right. And we will have roses there at the front. Chris and I will be at the front table. And you can buy a rose for your friend/date, with whatever the situation.
Or yourself.
For
There you go.
yourself, whatever.
Right. Treat yourself to a rose. Isn't that wrong?
Yes. So, yeah, guys, bring a little extra cash, make it super special
There you
while
go.
you eat your spaghetti and enjoy the jazz.
Yes. By the way, eat neatly. If you're trying to impress someone and you're just diving in that spaghetti and you got sauce all over your face and whatnot, tap and down a little bit. Eat like people are watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Because they probably will be.
Because they are.
There might be a reason you're over in the singles table. Just saying.
Oh, God.
We're having fun and joking, but come out and support the kids. That's what we really want to do. Have a good time, and that's what we're talking about. It's just come out Saturday morning. They're on the 11th. Come have breakfast. Bring. It's 8 to 10. It's not like you have to get up early. You can sleep in a little bit too.
Right.
You can be there at 9. You don't have to be there at 8.
Absolutely.
They'll still have good pancakes at 9:30. It'll be fine. So
They'll still be fresh.
That's right.
Yum.
So. Be honest, make them kick you out at 10. Keep eating and keep buying, coming in, and hopefully 10 o'clock, dude, we got to open for lunch, and so keep eating pancakes. But and then save room for that evening, or go exercise and get your laps in or something, and come hungry again for a nice, lovely evening of spaghetti. Make it as romantic or as fun as you want to. It's kind of turn it into your own thing here. If you want to do it as a we never go out. Let's go out and have some fun, and you can make it kind of a quiet little intimate thing and do your thing. And or if you want to have a group of friends come and make it a celebratory event,
absolutely
have fun with it. The point is, let's help the kids. Let's help them, afford to go to Rio Rancho and be able to actually have that ability to do that and all the other events and things. And, oh, by the way, have you seen the equipment and everything a band is outfitted in?
Yes.
That's not free either.
Right.
Absolutely.
And maintenance on the instruments, that
I would imagine,
adds up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about like music class in your elementary school and how many times sticks and things just got broken. And just that little, now take something that gets used every day, all the time, practice, and the wear and tear is pretty rough on it. I imagine. I don't know how, like I imagine some of the saxophones and those last forever, but drums and things,
Still maintenance.
Yeah. But I was thinking, I just didn't know the drums and stuff. I was like, the shelf lives on those probably don't last as long, but I'm thinking if you take care of a saxophone or something, that's kind of...
Our son played clarinet.
Okay.
And every summer we would go and get it recorked.
Okay.
To put the pieces together.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to change out the pads.
Okay.
All of them require
Sure.
love and care.
But take care of it, they last
parts.
forever. That's they're not disposable. That's kind of what I was, trying to get at. These are something you have for generations.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
You don't treat them like garbage.
Well, just the everyday stuff, drumsticks, reeds.
Now that stuff,
stuff like reed oil, stuff like that.
And at rock concerts, they throw all those guitar picks out. So I'm just kidding. How many of those you go through?
Right. So much of that stuff that, if we went and figured out how much we spent in a year on that stuff, we're probably looking at thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because, some of these reeds are $20 for one.
Wow.
That, like an oboe reed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
You can get clarinet reeds for fairly cheap, but you go into oboes and stuff like
The bigger
that.
the instrument, the bigger the price tag.
Does the bassoon have a reed?
It does, yes.
Okay.
I believe, yes.
We're going to say yes.
Don't ask me. I have zero music ability. I don't know. I played the recorder in 4th grade.
Right.
And they told me you don't need to. I said, no, we don't need you. But again, it's February 11th.
February, yes.
Come on out, not September 11th. That's another day and another thing. But February 11th, here in about 2 weeks, it's a Saturday. Come out Saturday morning to Applebee's between 8 and 10. Support the Goddard High Band Boosters for their pancake breakfast, $10. And
you can get tickets from band members.
Okay, so if you see any band members, any boosters, do you guys have a Facebook page they can
we do
shoot a message on to?
I think it's Goddard Band Boosters is what it's called.
So if you do a search,
I need to put something on there.
Goddard High Band Boosters, maybe top an NM in there just in case another.
Yeah, it should be easy to find.
Yeah. And then once you do that, it should pop right in. And then if you have any questions or you're like, hey, I want to get a ticket, who wants to sell me a ticket? And then you'll probably get about 10 people say, I got you, come on over here.
Or you can always find the Roswell High Band page, and we will get you in touch with them.
You'll steer them around and say, hey, I want to get pancakes. It's like, great, go here. When you're done, come eat some spaghetti. But vice versa. I'm sure if they want to eat spaghetti, like, great, eat some pancakes first, and then we'll tell you how to eat some spaghetti.
Right, I have already bought my tickets to go.
I have already bought my tickets.
Yay! Yes, we're going to go eat pancakes, and they're going to come and eat spaghetti with us. So
there you go. Excellent.
we support each other.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. But mark it on your calendars. February the 11th, that Saturday. Got a full day, 8 to 10 for pancakes at Applebee's. And then get your tickets now. You've got till the 5th for the spaghetti, what's actually called Noodles and Notes event that's going to be happening at the Roswell High, at high school at the gym there. It is at 6:30 p.m. Tickets or dinner is $20 for an individual, $35 for a couple, or there are a few tables left for sponsorship, and that's 8 for 175.
175, yes.
175, and that'll seat 8. So if you're like maybe you're a business or an organization, say, hey, and we're going to take our staff out to treat them to dinner, or maybe you're a nonprofit and say the board's going to go and have dinner at Roswell High Saturday night and help the band there. So pancakes or if you like early board meetings, have them at Applebee's at 8 in the morning on a Saturday.
There you go.
And just be careful. Keep your paperwork separate. Oh, you got to be careful either way because you got sticky issues in the morning, but sauce is not exactly paperwork friendly either. So do the work at home and just come and have
Right.
Just have a good time.
Very good. Is there anything we missed? Anything, any information you wanted to share?
We had some kids from both schools go to Allstate at the beginning of this month.
Awesome.
We had some kids last weekend went to Hobbs, I believe, for all district.
Nice.
And then we have some kids going to Las Cruces for the
Great American Southwest Honor Band.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe is what it's called.
Say that one more time, friend.
I think it's the Great American Southwest Honor Band. I don't know.
We
it's
have
been
two
a while.
great things that we're going to,
That
and I
sounds
don't
good.
remember
Yeah.
which one. So
And
That almost sounds like an opera show or something. The Great American Southwest. I'm like,
and the kids had to audition for all of these
Okay.
things and make it into these bands.
Awesome.
So
Good for them.
we're really proud of them.
Just curious, is there scholarship money for band, like when you go to college and stuff?
Oh,
yes,
good.
for sure.
I was just always curious about that
Absolutely.
because I know sports, they'll throw a bunch of money at you depending on the sport.
Eastern in
Yes.
Portales is really good about getting scholarships out.
Great.
So
We
Good.
have
I'm glad to see that.
a lot of former band kids
Awesome.
up there, and I mean
glad to see that.
NMSU also.
Mexico
They
State's
have
good
they have a
Yes.
great band there too,
Nice.
and yeah.
Good,
so,
good.
but-
Because I was wondering about that because, with sports and everything, it's like football. But band, I'm like, those kids work hard. And, granted, I know they're not filling 100,000 seat stadiums to watch band performances. I get that. But at the same time, those kids are, those kids bust their hump and do it. So I was glad to see that they're getting their schooling paid for too. I'm
Yes,
glad to see that.
absolutely,
Love
yes.
that. That's
Yes.
awesome. Good deal. Excellent. Well, thank you guys. I did promise. I did promise, Denise. Go ahead.
Okay. Do I need to do it back here? Everybody's backing away.
Don't do it by the mic. She's brought cowbell. We got cowbell.
It is my trademark. I'm
is.
that mom, the cowbell
Yeah, if
mom.
you were at a Roswell High game on a Friday night, and odds are you've heard this at some point in the evening or so forth.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my goodness, I'm not going to hit you.
Well, I don't know. You do have a wide spread there. We don't take anybody out with this cowbell.
Okay, ready? Everybody go big!
Perfect. See, that was perfect. There we go.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you guys Saturday the 11th. 0800 for pancakes, 6:30 for spaghetti at the Roswell High Gym. Again, go look for both Band Boosters Facebook pages. You'll find all your information there too. Don't forget, you've got till the 5th to get your tickets for spaghetti. Because they got to turn it in to the cook so they know how much to get. If you space out on pancakes, just show up 8 o'clock. Or 9 o'clock on that morning, and someone will get you pancakes. You got $10,
right.
you get pancakes.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you all again
Thank
soon,
you.
okay?
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Good deal. We'll see you then. All right, it is 7:50. Let us pause for news and a quick commercial break to pay for pancakes and spaghetti. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia Police are offering a cash reward for information leading to the persons responsible for a rash of car burglaries. Crime Stoppers offering the $1,000 reward. On Tuesday of last week between 6 p.m. and midnight, multiple vehicles were vandalized at several different locations. Surveillance video shows one person wearing a gray hoodie appearing to slash tires on multiple vehicles. You can reach Crime Stoppers at 575-887-1888, and you can always remain anonymous. And state police are in Carlsbad investigating an officer-involved shooting. It happened Sunday afternoon at a home off Mora Street when authorities responded to the report of an uncooperative resident and a vehicle fire. Once police got there, the man barricaded himself inside the home and refused to come out. Reports indicate the man opened fire on deputies first. They returned fire. The man was eventually apprehended and taken to a hospital for a gunshot wound that was said to be non-life-threatening. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I don't know how your new year is going, but for Tesla, 2023 is just plain ugly. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. In 2018, Elon Musk tweeted, "I'm considering taking Tesla private." And within 60 seconds, Tesla's stock price shot up by $8 a share. By the end of the day, up $20. Investors sued. Did Musk affect the stock price? The trial grinds on. Meanwhile, Tesla car sales are so bad that the company lowered prices by 20%. Those who recently purchased a Tesla before the price cut are madder than hell. Then this past weekend in Ventura, California, another Tesla erupted in flames on the road for no apparent reason. And finally this, Mercedes-Benz says that they have something called Level 3 self-driving all ready to go, something that Musk has been promising for years. And Mercedes drivers, they get it first. Every day you can get more tech news and what it means to you with my podcast called Kim Commando Today. Are you prepared for the unexpected? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing thousands. If that unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready? You can be with a plan through CarShield. When I needed a repair on an older vehicle, CarShield saved me over $4,000. With CarShield, I don't have to worry about what might happen to my car next. After all, your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are an essential part of our lives. That's why CarShield offers protection plans to fit every budget and include 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car eligibility. Call now to save 20%, so you'll always be prepared for the unexpected. Call 800-858-2550 or go to carshield.com/Kim. That's 800-858-2550 or visit carshield.com/Kim to save 20% today. That's carshield.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have stationary front overhead. We might get a little bit of freezing drizzle through about mid-morning and then cloudy and cold through the afternoon. We'll be staying in the mid to upper 30s today. Cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Some freezing drizzle possible. And then tomorrow looks about the same. Freezing drizzle in the morning and then a few afternoon rain showers, partly cloudy and going up to 40. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was a good night Friday for the Goddard Lady Rockets, defeating Portales for a district win, the district opener for Goddard, 61-54 in overtime. Goddard's now 14-7 overall, 1-0 in district play, and will play against Lovington this afternoon at 5:30. That's the start of a girls-boys doubleheader this evening against the Wildcats. Meanwhile, it was Roswell falling Friday night at home against Carlsbad, 43-27. Next up for the Lady Coyotes, Hobbs tonight at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, Dexter falls to Tatum on Saturday, 63-28. The Demons will take on Gateway Christian tonight at 6:30. Gateway defeats NMMI 48-24. Hagerman loses Friday night to Loving 56-39. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve is poised this week to raise its benchmark interest rate for an 8th time since March, but the Fed will likely announce a smaller hike for a second straight time, and it could change some key wording in its post-meeting statement about future rate increases, an eventual pause in the Fed's aggressive drive to raise borrowing costs. The Federal Aviation Administration told lawmakers it had made a series of changes to prevent a repeat of a computer system outage that disrupted more than 11,000 U.S. flights on January 11th to prevent a corrupt file from damaging a backup database. China's government on Monday criticized U.S. controls on technology exports as a trade violation after Japan and the Netherlands agreed to join Washington in limiting Beijing's access to materials to make advanced processor chips they say can be used in weapons. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Lots of excitement and changes are happening at the Calico Cow in Roswell. Yes, the Cow is utterly stocked with lots of new and spring fabrics. And what a perfect time to give your sewing machine a spa day. The Calico Cow now has 2 certified sewing machine technicians, so call ahead or bring your machine by for a quick turnaround and look for new and exciting things to come at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the Cow.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to play our interview we actually had last week with Jason Burke. He's commander of the local VFW post 12184. We get an update from him, but we also talk about their first annual charity golf tournament that they're going to be, it's in support of Healing America's Heroes, which is a local 501c3 charity, which they do work for helping people with PTSD, not just vets, but really anybody, but vets too. Their golf tournament will be taking place in May, but now's the time for sponsorships and even signing up your teams and things. So we'll play that interview, getting you excited about some golf in May with VFW Post. So that's interviews coming up next hour. Also, want to remind you that John LeMay joined us yesterday, and we talked about an event they've got coming up here in a few weeks. Historical Society for Southeast Mexico has their Sunday Fun Day, February 26th, 3 p.m., and it's going to be at the Archives Facility, 208 North Lee. And John LeMay is going to be talking a little bit about his new book. It's called Once Upon a Time in Fort Sumner, and he's going to discuss real history and folklore that went into crafting this book and talking about some of the tales and things of it. It's a really good deal, but it's a free event. Come on down, family-friendly, bring the whole family down. Sunday, February 26th, 3 p.m. at the Historical Society Archives Facility, 208 North Lee Street. Visit roswellnmhistory.org or call 622-8333 for more information. All right, news up next. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There's more fallout from the Memphis police beating of Tyree Nichols. 2 more police officers involved in the arrest, beating, and death of Nichols have been relieved of their duty. On top of that, 3 Memphis Fire Department personnel were also fired in connection with the case. China is urging House Speaker Kevin McCarthy not to visit Taiwan.
Reports have surfaced that the new House Speaker plans to visit the island later this year. It's a trip that's been made by several lawmakers in recent months, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The trip's intended to show solidarity with Taiwan, which considers itself an independent country. The planned trip comes even as the House, under new Republican leadership, launches its Select Committee on China, something McCarthy promises will, in his words, expose and fight against the Chinese Communist Party's cyber, trade, and military threats against America. Bob Agnew reporting.
Secretary of State Blinken is wrapping up a 2-day visit to Israel on the occupied West Bank. He has been appealing for Israeli-Palestinian calm. Pakistani officials say the death toll from a suicide bombing at a mosque has now risen to 100. Boeing bidding farewell to an icon today.
Boeing is delivering its final 747 jumbo jet. Since it debuted in 1969, the 747 has served as a cargo plane, a commercial aircraft capable of carrying nearly 500 passengers, and the Air Force One presidential aircraft. It revolutionized international travel. But over about the past 15 years, Boeing and its European rival Airbus have introduced more profitable and fuel-efficient wide-body planes with 2 engines instead of the 747's 4. Jeremy House reporting.
Checking Wall Street, the Dow down 11 points, the Nasdaq ahead by 27. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We're entering a time of increasing hostility against people of faith, a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral and physical and financial basis, unlike any other time in our lifetime. I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author, evangelical leader, here to remind you that you have to take action to protect and steward.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Though he said he never met with any of these people, there's pictures of Joe Biden with these people. There's logs from Joe Biden meeting with these people. There's emails from some of these people texting and emailing Hunter Biden saying, thanks for setting up the meeting with your dad.
Next week's testimony will be the first time that 3 former Twitter executives will speak publicly about the company's decision to block a New York Post article on Biden's laptop in the weeks before the 2020 election. News and analysis at townhall.com. Parts of the U.S. are expected to see icy conditions this week, as we hear from Donna Warder.
National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard says weather conditions could be downright dangerous for travelers.
We're expecting several rounds of freezing rain to impact portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, even into Tennessee.
More than 1,000 flights were canceled and many more delayed in Texas on Monday. But he says it won't last the entire week.
It's really today, tonight, Wednesday, even into Wednesday night. But finally, by Thursday, it looks like we'll see improving conditions.
I'm Donna Warder.
Former Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels says he won't seek the state's open U.S. Senate seat next year. His announcement ended weeks of speculation about whether the longtime Republican would enter the GOP primary fight. Congressman Jim Banks, who is a staunch Donald Trump defender, has already announced plans to run. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Los dos.
A timely text notification. Although I think I like that one better than the... Yeah, that one.
That's actually my ringtone.
Oh, okay. So,
by the way, here's the thing. Don't get a ringtone that's so catchy you don't want to actually answer your phone.
I learned that lesson years ago. I used to, back when it was, trendy to download music songs for ringtones, and I got into that wave. Problem is, it took songs I loved and made me hate them.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yep.
Because that was like Aerials, the System of Down Aerials. I had that as a ringtone, and I used to love that song. And then that as a ringtone, I was like, I can't stand it.
What happens is it invariably becomes your alarm. Mm-hmm. And that song that you love becomes that song that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, since I've learned that lesson, crickets chirping. That's what I have now. It's my ringtone, and it's been that way for years.
And I've noticed. But I will say this with mine, it's one of those that it's so catchy. Half the time, I won't answer my phone because I want to just vibe out to it. It's just
yeah, I get that.
It's a TikTok song. It's one of those that was in a bunch of TikToks, and I like the sound of it. I'm just I'll put that as my ringtone. And then half the time I just don't answer my phone because I want to just vibe out to the song.
But I think it's more of a problem for you because you're more of a people person than I am.
That's true.
You like to be people and talking to people and things.
It's not that I like people more. It's just that I find myself around them more.
There's a reason I got radio, so I can get small rooms and talk by myself. That's where my wheelhouse.
It's ironic because I got into radio so that I wouldn't be seen on camera.
And here we sit.
Saw how that worked out for me. Thanks, Gene.
Well, yeah, because I'm awkward in other places, but here I'm okay.
Yeah, so. If I sit in a room, talk to myself, or with a friend, I'm good.
Yeah, but the best radio show hosts are nut bars.
Oh, 100%. If you find a DJ that's got his crap together, yeah, that's not a good DJ.
Yeah.
That guy's way too focused on himself.
Yeah, we're all a few sandwiches short of a picnic there. Happy Tuesday, everybody. But I hope you're having a good time. It's I got an official report from our sales manager.
Yeah.
Roads are icy and dangerous.
Listen, it's slippery outside.
Which he's right. I experienced the same thing. But be careful out there. No, there is not a delay or cancellation.
No,
Thomas. That was part 2 of his text I just saw. Hopefully he's still listening. He may be at work by now. I don't know.
Well, because work is Artesia today.
In Artesia.
That's why it's slippery.
Yeah. I wonder if it got worse or less as far as
I would imagine
it could go either way.
Out in the expanse, that's where things probably got really icy, just because it didn't have a chance to buildings weren't blocking things, So
you said expanse, and this triggered this, so I'm going to talk briefly on it because we got an interview. I saw the 3rd episode of The Last of Us yesterday.
I'm still in the middle of episode 1.
It is by far of the 3 episodes the most entertaining.
Okay.
I was thoroughly entertained by this one. It's a bit shocking at first, but at the end of that 3rd episode, you're like, okay, this story is a little deeper than a video game. They did a great job of making you care about characters for that episode. And that episode, you only get these characters, spoiler alert, for 1 episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
But it was a good episode. It's now people going to complain about it because people complain about things. But if you take it for what it is and just watch the story and do it, and just take it from that angle, it's a pretty entertaining.
From what I've been told, people are going to complain about it for the same reason they complained about the Roswell reboot.
Maybe I don't remember what the complaint was there.
I'll explain off the air.
Okay, I don't know that complaint.
But I'm curious to check it out. But it feels like so.
It feels so different than the other 2 episodes.
Right.
That's what I mean. It's because to be honest, they give you a lot of backstory in this episode. So they use this episode to kind of advance the story, but at the same time give you a context of the environment and how the environment has gone from 2003 when this started to 2023 where the current story takes place.
Because that's what it feels like is they've got a lot of backstory they've got to tell, and that in this progressing front story, they're going to tell that backstory.
And yes, now the story they tell, it's not so much about the people, but yes, it is. It fills the story. That advances the story. But they give you it just to kind of see the climate of the world as it evolved from 03 to
Right.
2023, and they use this to kind of bring you both of those in that. And so to me, it was well written and well done, and I liked it. I was like, and plus, it really got me into, because I'm a mark for apocalypse. You know, that's why I like Walking Dead. I'm always fascinated by watching shows of like The Last Man on Earth, or that style of just them, you know, how they navigate and survive. And you know, I watch every one of them. I watch that Tom Hanks robot one. I watch, I watch them all. And this episode gave me a lot of that. It really kind of showed me how one would survive in a situation they're at for 20 plus years. And it's kind of cool to see that. To me, that was cool. It's like to see this guy survive beyond the world, you know, and thrive. Really.
That just reminded me of one of, I'm going to say, probably the most positive or promising TV shows ever that just fell off. And that's the show The Last Man on Earth.
Yeah.
I
was the same
loved that show until they just started introducing every single other person. But
I love the first season. I think by the second season, I'm out.
Here's what happened is they figured out that they couldn't just have a show with one, you got an interview, with one dude. But it's like, at some point, it was a point of diminishing returns with new characters.
Yeah, but that's what drew me to the show.
Yeah.
Like, that dude just driving around neighborhoods and living in, like, you know, $500,000 homes and just watching movies and eating their ramen or whatever, you know, then grabbing some truck and then just going to that. I'm like, I could watch hours of this.
Yeah.
To me, that's fascinating.
Because that's like a dream.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
for a minute.
For a second, exactly.
Yeah, for a minute.
It would get miserable.
Like after a couple of days of that, I'm like, all right, let's find some people.
Right.
But yeah, for a minute, that's
what happened with the productions. They're like, all right, well, this is boring now. But yeah, it was really good. It had a lot of promise there at first.
It did.
Man.
I think you can go back and watch it on like Hulu or
I'm sure
something.
It's
I think.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But just, you know, watch the first 3 episodes. Get your fill of that. That's all you need.
Yeah, to be honest, because after the first season, I was like, all right. And then I was like, I didn't kind of like where it was ending. But I was like, all right, I'll start season 2. And I started watching. I'm like, I could care less about it. I just lost like complete.
I was out when he started becoming the bad guy.
Yeah.
I was pretty much out at that point.
To me, it was not fun anymore. It was just but yeah, I get what you're saying on that. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to play our interview we had with Jason Burke, the commander of VFW Post 12184. They've got a golf tournament coming up, their first annual golf tournament in May. So now they're doing all the prep work, getting sponsors, things like that. So,
was it 12184?
12184. We're going to all go to the Peach Pit. Go to the Peach Pit and have a golf tournament. All right, it is 8:14. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have stationary front overhead. We might get a little bit of freezing drizzle through about mid-morning, and then cloudy and cold through the afternoon. We'll be staying in the mid to upper 30s today. Cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Some freezing drizzle possible. And then tomorrow looks about the same. Freezing drizzle in the morning, and then a few afternoon rain showers, partly cloudy, and going up to 40. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I scrolled down too far. Blocked the thing. There you go. Currently 24 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 91%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 12 miles per hour. We do have a freezing fog advisory that's in effect through 10 a.m. this morning. Be careful out there. The roads are those black ice and freezing fog. It is a little slippery. Drive with caution out there this morning. Especially since our high today is only getting to 36, so there won't be a lot of melting with no sun. So be careful when you're driving around out there, especially on roads that haven't seen a lot of traffic yet to kind of break that up a little bit. So be careful. But we are expecting some freezing fog through about 10 o'clock this morning. They said actually you could see it linger until about noon in some areas. Mostly cloudy, though, for the day. 36 for a high with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 24 degrees. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we are looking at a 40% chance of some snow showers before noon, then scattered rain and snow showers after that. Mostly cloudy, high of 39 tomorrow. So we'll be right there on that cusp, the freezing there. South winds 5 to 10. And then Wednesday night, we're looking at 20% chance of rain showers before midnight, then a slight chance of freezing rain. They're talking mostly cloudy, overnight low of 27, south winds at around 5 miles per hour. They do say this moisture, snow, whatever we get Wednesday night, they're not expecting any accumulation. So it's mostly going to be probably in the form of rain or freezing rain is my guess. For Thursday, like I said, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow showers before noon. Mostly sunny, 56 for highs. We're starting to warm up by Thursday. Winds out of the north 5 to 10. And then we just blow the doors back into pleasant weather by Friday. Friday, we're looking at sunny skies, a high near 60. Mostly sunny and 67 on Saturday, and sunny and 66 on Sunday. So we have some warm weather coming, but we got to get through this little patch of rain, snow, and freezing rain mix here over the next couple days. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side of the break, we'll play our interview with Jason Burke from VFW Post 12184, talking about their golf tournament. That's up next. Don't go away.
9 of 10 people with pre-diabetes don't even know they have it. Left untreated, diabetes can lead to other health complications, including heart disease, stroke, and liver disease. Don't put off your care any longer. Artesia General Hospital's Diabetes Care Team can help you make a personalized plan to manage diabetes or pre-diabetes and reclaim your health. Learn more or request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/diabetes.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Lots of folks are buying used vehicles these days, and they're just as proud of them as if they were brand new. And why not? The pre-owned cars and trucks at Roswell Ford look and smell brand new. And Roswell Ford stands behind every pre-owned vehicle with a 3-day money-back guarantee and a complimentary 90-day 4,000-mile warranty. Roswell Ford has more than 400 vehicles in stock, by far the biggest selection in this part of the state, with new Fords arriving all the time. So it only makes sense to come see us first when you're ready to start car shopping. Speaking of pride, our customers are just tickled with our mobile service van that comes to your home or work and turns your driveway or parking lot into a service bay. We can take care of routine maintenance like oil and filter changes, tire rotations, and battery service, and you don't have to be without your vehicle. Of course, some restrictions apply. For great selection and great service, you can count on your friends at the Tailgate Nation.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment. Living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." One of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by 2 imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
Roswell just got a lot cooler. Calici's Frozen Custard is now in Roswell. Come celebrate the grand opening Saturday, February 4th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Get 50% off the whole menu and 50-cent hot dogs all day. How's that for a sweet deal? Plus, get your picture taken with Mr. Scoopy and let the kids hop till they drop inside the bounce house. Want to become a part of the team? Calici's is still hiring. If you'd like to be a part of the team, apply by visiting Calici's of Roswell's Facebook page. See you February 4th for the grand opening of Calici's Frozen Custard on North Main in Roswell.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome back to the morning show. And joining us in studio back this morning, Commander for our local Roswell VFW Post 12184, which I always botch. Commander Jason Burke back with us. Good morning. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
Doing good. So how's life at the VFW Post today?
It's going. We're getting busy.
Good.
We're getting busy.
Busy's good.
Busy's good. Membership's growing.
That's excellent.
It is excellent. And when membership grows, of course, we can get busier, which is great.
More bodies, more ideas, more things going.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
We can do more things for our local veterans. We can do more things for our community. And, and we're there for each other as well.
And I love it, too, that the fact that, the fact that we've got, our two American Legion posts here and our VFW, that it's where at one point we didn't have any of that. They all kind of, things happened and none of that was available. So it's great to see that our veterans across the city here are kind of getting back and getting these organizations going and there's always strength in numbers, and it's great to see that. Now we got not one, two, but three and more entities actually that are all kind of looking out for veterans in our community.
You got the VFW, you got two American Legion posts, you've got the Chavez County Veterans Association. I think there's a Vietnam Veterans Association, and then of course you've got our your New Mexico Department of Veteran Affairs down on Southeast Main. They're there also.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of great resources.
A lot of good stuff. It's a good place to be a veteran.
Sure, absolutely, but. The great thing is here, if you are looking at, if you're a veteran out there and you're looking for to make a difference, get involved, or maybe you're looking to just get back together with people that kind of chewed some of the same dirt that you did. Love to invite you to come on out to the next VFW meeting and get involved and be a part of all the. Like I know Jason's going to talk about it here in a minute, but got some events coming up that we want to put on people's radar and things, and they could. All hands on deck on that one too, I'm sure. So.
Sure, most definitely.
Yeah. But so your next meeting will be here.
Our next meeting's actually this coming Thursday.
Okay, very good. So it'll be this upcoming Thursday. So you normally meet is it third or fourth Thursday?
The last Thursday of the month.
Okay, very good.
At Grace Community Church.
Okay,
7:00 p.m.
Yep,
that's where we meet.
And come on out, and then of course all veterans. Love to have you come out to the meeting and sit and hear what's going on. And of course, if you want to talk more about being a part of the post, Jason or some of the folks there will be happy to get you applications and make sure you're eligible and things like that to do that.
Yeah, and just real quick, eligibility. Basically, to sum it up, you've had to have had a hazard fire pay or imminent danger pay, basically in a combat zone, conflict area, and also to South Korean service as well.
You know what's sad but true is odds are if you've served the United States military in the last 20-25 years,
definitely
you're pretty much you're pretty much qualified for the VFW. Which it's great we have these great Americans that are there to do it, but it's sad we've had so much warfare that more people are qualifying because of what the service they have to serve in.
I just can't wait to see what it looks like when the Space Force can finally qualify.
I know. I was just thinking. I was like, man, I wonder how long it's going to be before we have a Space Force member of our VFW or any of our American Legion or anything like that.
Exactly.
Too. So. Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. We're going to have to,
Man.
Picard will be one member or something. I guess. Kirk.
That's about as foreign as it gets.
But let's talk a little bit about some of the things you got coming up here.
Okay.
You guys have a golf tournament that you're organizing, putting together right now.
We do.
And I know a bunch of people's ears perked up because we got a lot of people that are going to golf anyway. Might as well let's go ahead and get you and sign up and be a part of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
Win some prizes and stuff and help a great cause.
And that's a good point. I mean, it's going to be May 19th and May 20th out at the Country Club.
Okay.
There's two different basically two different competitions. Okay, so kind of forgive me. I don't know a whole lot about golf. I like to golf. I've got golf clubs. I've even got like a Callaway hat and stuff, and I look like a golfer. But
you can pull off the.
Hey,
look.
you know what? My slice is the most impressive slice you'll ever see in your life. I promise you.
I might give you a run because
it is amazing. I'm
a lefty.
Okay.
And you ever been to the NIMI driving range up here?
I haven't tried that one yet because see, there's too many buildings.
Well,
I'll slice it.
I'm a lefty. I got to the extreme right of the driving range.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And whack the ball, and I'm still putting it over the net on the left side of the driving range.
Well, so I'm right-handed. When I go out to Nancy Lopez golf course, the city golf course, I go to the farthest left side of the driving range. And it'll just nice. I mean, I can put 300 yards on that thing, but it's going to make a hard right halfway through it. So if you had an 18-hole golf course or everything dogleg right, you'd probably be Jack Nicklaus. Exactly. Yeah. I'm hitting people in that last. As a matter of fact, I almost hit my boss one time.
Nice.
So it was a Saturday, and I was off that day. No, it was a Monday, and I think I was off that day anyway. And I hit one, and it's just taking a nice hard right turn, and I'm watching. It's like there's a golf cart and there's people in it. Oh no! And one of the guys gets out. I was like, well, "What's he doing here?" He's but anyway,
your favorite four-letter word is four.
Exactly.
Yeah, but for those that don't have that wicked slice, or you do, come
Even
on
if you
either
do
way.
have a
It doesn't
wicked
matter.
slice.
Yeah. But bad golfers are just as welcome as the good
You
ones.
don't have to be a pro. You don't have to be good. I'm not going to be golfing in it, thank goodness. But so yeah,
was it like a scramble kind of deal?
Well, that's just it. So we've got a 4-man scramble,
okay,
and we call it a 2-man shootout, I believe, a 2-man team.
All right.
So the 2-man teams, that's on May 19th.
Okay.
That's going to be on that Friday, I believe. And then on the 20th is going to be the 4-man scrambles.
Okay.
2 flights. So we got a morning flight and an afternoon flight for both 19th and 20th.
Gotcha.
And so for the 4-man teams, it's $100 a player.
Okay.
And for the 2-man team, same thing, $100 a player.
Okay.
So really, I mean, what are greens fees? I don't know what. I haven't been out there in a while. I don't know what greens fees are.
And to be honest, it's a great way to because usually how these work is, some people already have their 3-4 person teams and they're already. But a lot of times people are like, hey, I just want to golf, and so if you have a team, you can sign up as a team, but usually sign up individually, and usually the pro. That's kind of one of the things that I think. I don't know if that's like in their official job title, but they're the keeper of the organizing of scrambles and tournaments.
Yeah, I don't know how that part of it's going to work.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
But they kind of usually know how to fit those pieces in and all that.
I think so.
But usually, like if you want to sign up individually, they put teams together based on their handicaps, and then they kind of go from there. So,
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not. One of my guys, Mac Dyer, one of our members, he's the
golf guru.
He's the guy. Him and also Bob Bolin, my adjutant.
Okay.
Those are the two guys. They know more about it. They've actually organized golf tournaments before.
Yeah, there's a science to it. And they know that.
I'm just one of the guys. Hey, tell me what you need me to do, and I'm going to do it.
You're the commander. You direct.
Exactly.
Delegate. You do this. You do that.
Yeah. On this one, I'm not commanding anything. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to do it because I don't know anything
and that's,
about.
Again, no commander knows when to step back and let someone else take the reins there.
Exactly.
But I imagine right now is a good time if you're looking for sponsorships for like tee boxes and event sponsorships and things like that.
So that is what we do have. We're looking for sponsorships. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 different levels of sponsorships.
Okay.
It's a little time consuming. So I'll just kind of, talk about the Medal of Honor tier.
Okay.
That's the highest tier. It's a $1,500 sponsorship. Now, what that comes with, that's going to come with a big sign, out at the golf course. Your name's going to be on a banner. Of course, we're going to mention you on the radio for free, Facebook mentions. And also, you get a table. You get a reserve table at the banquet or at the reception afterwards.
Okay.
Where we're going to be giving out awards and stuff like that, silent auctions
and all that stuff. Yeah.
And that also comes with a team. So if you're a $1,500 Medal of Honor sponsor, you get a team with that too. You can put together a team.
Okay.
And then of course your Purple Heart tier, which is the lowest tier, that's a $200 sponsorship. Then you get your name on a small sign and a small banner, and you get some Facebook mention as well.
Sure. But all of it's you're gonna get some little bit of swag for your business or group there if you'd like.
Most definitely.
And then of course all of this goes back to the VFW post, which goes back to the programs that support veterans and helping on our community here.
Absolutely.
So when you're out there whacking the ball around and having fun and bragging to your buddies and all that, you're doing good service for our veterans here in our community.
And there's other sponsorships. You can food and drink, longest putt sponsorship. You want to sponsor a hole.
Okay.
You want to sponsor a cart. We also we're going to have a silent raffle, and we're going to be giving out a raffle, silent auction, and swag bags. If you want to donate, like swag bags, $200 cash or $200 worth of goods.
Okay.
Raffle, $300 or $300 worth of goods. And for the silent auction, up to minimum value of $500.
Yeah.
So
and that's a great way to help out too. Is like maybe your business has great stuff that goes in swag bags, and you like to say, hey, let me donate a bunch of jerky or something to throw in the bags for all your players.
Yeah, everybody likes free stuff. And,
Absolutely,
that's what it's for.
I think half the reason people do these is for the goodie bag. They get for the event. There,
and it's fun. There's going to be free food. It's going to be catered, of course.
Nice.
There's going to be food. There's going to be a nice reception or a banquet, afterwards where we're going to hand out awards. And you mentioned the cause. I'd like to, mention, talk
elaborate
about that
on that a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. So we're doing this for the benefit of Healing America's Heroes. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with that group.
Okay, that's the official organization.
Yes,
is it something like a Wounded Warrior, that vein of
just about? Yeah.
Okay.
So Healing America's Heroes, they're out at Fort Stanton.
Okay.
It was founded by a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
And what they do.
So is this more local than a national thing?
More local.
Okay,
yes,
sweet.
Yes, it's 100% local.
Love
yes.
that. All right, cool.
Yeah, so they're out at Fort Stanton.
Okay.
And what they do is they offer their services to people suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
And not just combat veterans. It can be combat veterans, first responders,
anybody
victims.
who suffered PTSD in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Whether it's a home accident or in the line of duty, so to speak. Gotcha.
And it's for and it's totally free. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. You can go out there. They have it's like a 3 to 5 day program. I think it's a 3 or 5 day program, and they do therapeutic. They do like equine therapy, like horse therapy.
That's kind of like a trends in science here, and I know this sounds, but I've in the last 6 months I've heard more about using horses, for therapy for people dealing with all kind of mental health issues, not just PTSD, but like bipolar and other avenues of mental health. This equine, it's kind of a new part of the science where they're kind of saying, hey, and same places like your service dogs or your support animals. It's same ballpark, but they're having more success with the horses. I want to say equines all the time. No one calls them equines. Horses and things like that.
They do the equine therapy, and they also do therapy through fly fishing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they'll teach you how to make your own flies and how to use them and fly fish down there on that Ruidoso River.
That's been the official relaxing of your father for the last 12 generations.
And they also have professional help out there as well. Volunteers. And all of this is no cost to the veteran or the first responder.
And I'm guessing the volunteers are people that maybe walked in their shoes a little bit too. So
most definitely.
So,
a lot of them
when they're out fly fishing and doing all these activities and horseback riding, they're swapping, comparing stories and commiserating and kind of it's hard to explain. If two people that have been through something very similar in scope as far as impact. There is it's no different than people that are dealing with substance abuse or something like that. That's why support groups work so well for like AA and things like that.
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
It's people that can understand better. They're going to get through it better. And it's no different for people that, when you're, at least from a military, when people are going through war and stuff like that, and for people that never experienced that, it's hard to really give them a clear picture on what's going on in that person's
100%. It's hard to somebody who's never been through it. It's hard to talk to them about it.
Yeah.
And it's because it's just you try to paint them a picture.
Sure.
There's a book out there. It's written by a guy named Carl Marlantes.
Okay.
It's called What It's Like to Go to War.
Okay.
And he is a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
I read that book. And if you've never seen combat and you want to know what that person feels like, read that book.
That one kind of gives you the best.
That one, and I'm reading that book and I'm like, wow, this guy, he hits the nail on the head.
He's able to capture it in words.
He's able to paint that picture for you.
Interesting.
It's amazing. It's a really good book,
yeah.
But one more thing about that Healing America's Heroes, they've recently had a water pump stolen.
Okay.
So a lot of the funds that we collect, somebody stole a water pump that they used to water the horses and vandalized a bunch of that stuff.
I'm sure it's a tweaker looking for.
Man, I tell you what,
I'm guessing there's valuable metals that's somewhere in those.
I guess so. Maybe there's some copper, some brass.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
could
see is why someone would do that.
Yeah,
but no different than these catalytic converters are going after cars and whatnot. So
yeah, definitely.
It's sad that that's the world we live in right now. But so they can need some help getting that water pump replaced. Right
Absolutely.
Now. Maybe we can get them organized to come on the show here.
Most
and talk
definitely.
a little bit about their organization and
Absolutely.
and put their needs out for the public to see.
Oh, that would be amazing. The guy who runs the Healing America's Heroes, he's one of my members.
Oh, excellent.
Eddie Crane, and he's a really good guy.
Okay.
So that's what I'll do. I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
See if we can set something up and get them to come on and bring him in here.
Yeah, that way we can put a spotlight on their organization and see if we can, along with the tournament helping them out financially here, but also getting a spotlight on, get some grassroots people, boots on the ground here helping out.
Yeah,
too,
definitely.
So.
And one other, and also too, we're going to, the VFW, our post itself, we're going to raise some funds for ourselves as well for the golf tournament. We need a home. We're homeless right now.
Gotcha.
Grace Community Church has been amazing to us. They've been
very graceful.
Very much so. Yeah. They've been letting us use their building, for our meetings and greatly appreciate that. So, but if you don't mind, I'd also like to kind of, talk up some of we've already got a couple of sponsors.
Excellent. Yeah.
Let's let
the world know.
Course. So Crumlin Auto Group.
Okay. They step up quite often.
They stepped up quite. Oh, they do. They're amazing. They stepped up and they're a Medal of Honor level sponsor. So of course they're going to get a team and everything.
Well, I know they've already got the team assembled. They're a collective group of golfers.
Oh
in the Crumlin
man, I tell you
group,
what, lots of golfers in the Crumlin
Mr.
Auto Group.
Crumlin on down. They're all big time golfers.
Yes, sir. And Desert Hills Electric as well.
Okay.
So
good deal. Well, great for them stepping up early. The gauntlet's been dropped, so you can.
There we go. There's
see if
the
you can
standard.
out-donate the Crumlin Auto Group and
Crumlin Auto Group
Desert
and Desert Hills.
Electric,
So. And Crumlin Auto Group, they're amazing. They helped us out a lot in the parade. They helped us to fund the parade.
Absolutely, yeah.
They participated in the parade. They let us borrow vehicles. Their big old Jumbotron that they have out there on West 2nd Street, that big billboard.
Yep.
They advertised it. Yeah.
And just, so I'm on in the American Legion. They've given us money for scholarships and things for our stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're great.
They're big supporters of veterans and many other organizations in our community.
Definitely.
But veterans as well. So it does not surprise me that they're right at the top of the list already on this one. So that's great. But Mark May 18th and 19th?
19th and 20th.
Okay,
May 19th and 20th out at the Country Club.
Yes, mark that down. But if you're wanting to sponsor a tee box or a main or a bigger sponsorship from the Medal of Honor on down levels, now's the time to reach out and do that. What's probably the best way to get a hold of you guys to set up sponsorships?
My phone number is 575-910-1860.
Very good.
Call, text. I'm at work most of the week now. If you send me a text message, I might not be able to get to it right away, but I definitely will buy it.
You'll be on it pretty quick.
Exactly.
Especially if you're like, I got $1 million to give you, he'll get you. I'm just kidding. No, I'm really, if you do that, he will call you quick.
Yeah,
I got a suitcase full of cash laying right out here.
Big sign.
Like, I'll be right there. Of course, you can always reach out on social media, Facebook. There is a Roswell VFW. Just look for you can type in Roswell VFW or VFW 12184. It should pop right up.
Also on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, so if you do LinkedIn,
a lot of businesses on LinkedIn.
Sure.
We do have a LinkedIn page.
Great.
It's VFW Post 12184, Roswell VFW.
Perfect.
Same
so
thing.
If you are you do things on the professional side of social media,
yes, sir.
I'm completely unprofessional, so I don't have one of those.
Yeah, you got to kind of be careful on it.
Exactly too. And of course, if you want to learn more about becoming a member of the VFW here, come on out this Thursday to the next meeting at Grace Community Church, 6 p.m. 7
7
p.m.
o'clock.
You can come out at 6 though and walk around.
You can hang out.
There's always stuff going on over there. So, and it's a church, so if you catch them right around 6. You'll probably stumble into somebody's dinner. And,
it's possible. I think they're actually the choir is actually practicing. I believe
at that time too.
Yeah,
so get a pre-concert before you go on to the VFW meeting here. So we meet at another First United Methodist, another great church in our community. And some of the nights we meet, they've got Zumba going on before. So depending on which one you go to, you might get a workout or get a concert.
Hey, there we go. Hey. When are you going to join the VFW?
I need to get on the stick there and do that too. But
your service qualifies you.
I am. I'm running out of Thursdays though. That's the problem.
yeah, only so many of those to go around.
Absolutely. But come be a part, and love to have you. And of course, if you're a veteran in need, if you're listening and you're like, hey, I'm looking to get some resources, don't hesitate to reach out to our local VFW, our American Legion, our Chaves County Veterans, the Health Department. There's a lot of resources for you out here. But if you're not sure, VFW, American Legion, and reach out to any of those. They'll be happy to get you set up with whatever, whether it's through, hooking up to VA benefits to just resources for some help here in town.
Absolutely. And if we don't have if we don't have the means to help you, then we'll find it for you.
Absolutely.
We'll make phone calls. We'll find, I had a gentleman reach out to me last year, who had some stuff for his father. His father was a Korean War veteran, moving out to California. I'm calling VFW Post from San Francisco to San Diego, getting this guy some help, So yeah, if I don't,
and that happens all the time.
All the time.
Every veterans organization in our community, I've heard, we're a veteran, or even if it's just a traveler gets stuck in town and car breaks down and doesn't have the money to go. VFW, American Legion, we've pulled together at times.
We've
said,
done
let's get this guy a room, or let's get this family a room for the night.
Gas money, we've donated, we've given gas money, and it's
that's just what happens when a veteran reaches out in this community. So
absolutely,
so there are help, there's resources, and if you want to get involved with that community and give back, maybe you're one of the ones. I don't know how many times we hear that too, where they, it's kind of like when victims of domestic violence, they kind of survive and come through it. A lot of times they're the best advocates for those next victims and helping them through. So it's really cool. But Jason, is there anything we missed that we wanted to cover?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. What I can do is I can leave some of this golf tournament information with you,
and we'll spread the word.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
And if people need to get in contact with you, we'll make sure we
There's
can make
some phone numbers on there as well.
Okay.
Bob's and Max is on there as well, but mine's on there, and most definitely give me a call or one of those other numbers.
The sooner the better, too. I know we're the land of manana, but it's like, it's May. Yeah. I got plenty of time.
No, we need to get this thing going now.
Yeah. Especially now with getting the sponsorships and that stuff. And I'm telling you, once the word gets out to the golf circuit that this tournament's there, then the spaces, the teams will fill up quick.
Well, I work in the car industry. I work in the automotive industry. So lots of golfers, like you just said. Mac, he's in oil and gas. Lots of golfers. Yeah, and so
it's the official sport of business schmoozing, and so we got a lot of that.
And Bob Bolin, he worked for Admiral Beverage for a long time. And so he knows all the places where all the golfers hang out, and so it's just kind of we kind of got it covered there as far as
turning over the rocks on who's golfing and all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. But get your team, sign up, and let's come have some fun that weekend and whack the ball around and tell our fishing stories and help some veterans and help this great organization so they can help these folks locally here with PTSD. That's great. And we'll get them on here too.
Yeah, most definitely. As a matter of fact, I'll give him a call here in the next day or two.
Good.
See what he wants to do and see if he can come up and see if I can bring Mac and Bob up here as well one of these days, and
let's do it.
Yeah.
Love to do that and talk all about I'm not riding a horse, but I'll talk all about it.
Oh, come on. I'll give you $20.
Me and a horse, I had a bad experience, and a horse did not want me on. And after a couple times of bucking me off and spending the night in the hospital, I said, "You win. I'm done."
I've done that. That happened to me when I was I think I was 8 or 9, maybe even younger.
Yeah.
And I'm on this horse out at my grandfather's house out east of town. And I don't know what happened. I'm just riding this horse, and it's just a nice little ride. And boom, horse takes off. And I'm holding on, and I'm freaking out. Horse rounds a corner, and I fall off. And, oh, man, it was a mess. So
I ended up getting high-o silvered into a barbed wire fence. So,
wow.
Good times.
Definitely.
Well, Jason, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll see you here next time.
Most definitely. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Don't work too hard.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia Police are offering a cash reward for information leading to the persons responsible for a rash of car burglaries. Crime Stoppers offering the $1,000 reward. On Tuesday of last week between 6 p.m. and midnight, multiple vehicles were vandalized at several different locations. Surveillance video shows one person wearing a gray hoodie appearing to slash tires on multiple vehicles. You can reach Crime Stoppers at 575-887-1888, and you can always remain anonymous. And state police are in Carlsbad investigating an officer-involved shooting. It happened Sunday afternoon at a home off Mora Street when authorities responded to the report of an uncooperative resident and a vehicle fire. Once police got there, the man barricaded himself inside the home and refused to come out. Reports indicate the man opened fire on deputies first. They returned fire. The man was eventually apprehended and taken to a hospital for a gunshot wound that was said to be non-life-threatening. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have stationary front overhead. We might get a little bit of freezing drizzle through about mid-morning, and then cloudy and cold through the afternoon. We'll be staying in the mid to upper 30s today. Cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Some freezing drizzle possible. And then tomorrow looks about the same. Freezing drizzle in the morning, and then a few afternoon rain showers, partly cloudy, and going up to 40. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve is poised this week to raise its benchmark interest rate for an 8th time since March. But the Fed will likely announce a smaller hike for a second straight time, and it could change some key wording in its post-meeting statement about future rate increases. An eventual pause in the Fed's aggressive drive to raise borrowing costs. The Federal Aviation Administration told lawmakers it had made a series of changes to prevent a repeat of a computer system outage that disrupted more than 11,000 U.S. flights on January 11th to prevent a corrupt file from damaging a backup database. China's government on Monday criticized U.S. controls on technology exports as a trade violation after Japan and the Netherlands agreed to join Washington in limiting Beijing's access to materials to make advanced processor chips they say can be used in weapons. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Using locally owned and operated Zenith Security Services gets you service after the sale, quick turnaround time, security systems tailored to your needs, an actual person when you call, and you're investing in your community. Zenith Security has provided security solutions for southeastern New Mexico since 1998, and we care about our community. When you have security needs, remember, give the locals a shot and call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521.
Lots of folks are buying used vehicles these days. And you know, they're just as proud of them as if they were brand new. And why not? The pre-owned cars and trucks at Roswell Ford look and smell brand new. And Roswell Ford stands behind every pre-owned vehicle with a 3-day money-back guarantee and a complimentary 90-day 4,000-mile warranty. Roswell Ford has more than 400 vehicles in stock, by far the biggest selection in this part of the state, with new Fords arriving all the time, so it only makes sense to come see us first when you're ready to start car shopping. Speaking of pride, our customers are just tickled with our mobile service van that comes to your home or work and turns your driveway or parking lot into a service bay. We can take care of routine maintenance like oil and filter changes, tire rotations, and battery service, and you don't have to be without your vehicle. Of course, some restrictions apply. For great selection and great service, you can count on your friends at the Tailgate Nation.
Time to reload for 2023 with LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition is stocked up for the new year, and that means the best selection in the state just got even better. Save big on brands you know and love like Glock, Springfield, Ruger, Mossberg, Smith & Wesson, and right now get 10% off all firearms, 15% off safes, up to 20% off accessories, and 20% off all micro conversion kits. Time to reload with LGS Guns and Ammo. Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammo across from Target in Roswell and at lgsguns.com.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:54, closing in on 8:54. Got a few minutes here before news at the top of the hour. A couple things I saw that I wanted to share. Of course, one thing it broke yesterday afternoon. We lost the second half of Laverne and Shirley yesterday. Actor Cindy Williams, who played Shirley on Laverne and Shirley. Of course, Penny Marshall was Laverne. We lost her several years ago, and now we lost Cindy Williams. She passed away at 75. My wife, she's the one who told me. She's like, "Oh yeah, it was Shirley passed away," and then I was watching nightly news last night, and they teased that she had passed, and then they also mentioned another person that passed, which more people could care less about. But I to be honest, I felt bad because my wife told me, and I was like, I thought she had already died. I thought she had died before Penny Marshall, but I guess I'm wrong, apparently. But I had thought that. I thought she had already passed. For some reason, I thought she did. But she actually did pass this yesterday, I guess. But the other person they had mentioned that passed is probably more obscure to most of you, unless you're hockey fans. Bobby Hull died also. So we lost Shirley from Laverne and Shirley, and Bobby Hull also passed away. His Bobby was a Hockey Hall of Famer, legendary player, but equally as famous is his son, Brett Hull. Mm-hmm. Brett Hull was a big deal in the 90s and 80s, and I think he's a Hall of Famer too, actually, his son. But yeah, Bobby Hull died. The other thing that I saw that's making me kind of giggle, and again, this only makes me giggle because I'm a fan of Washington
Cindy
Commanders.
Williams. Okay,
yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So Rex Ryan, football people know who Rex Ryan is. He was a coach of the Jets for a while there. I think he's been defensive coordinator of various places. But yeah, Rex Ryan, NFL. Him and his brothers, Rob Ryan, used to coach. He was a Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator with Rex and Rob, the Ryan brothers, Buddy Ryan's kids, for really old school people. But Rex Ryan, he's an analyst for ESPN, and he threw he threw a wrench out there to everybody. They looked at him like he's crazy. So Tom Brady, a lot of question marks on where he's going to end up next year. Where he's going to stay with he's going to retire. He's going to stay with the Bucks.
Bay
rumor has it the Raiders want him pretty bad. Rex Ryan said, "Look for the Washington Commanders." I said, "What?" Here's the deal. They're trying to. He thinks that. What's his name? The coach of the Saints. I can't remember his name. Went right out of my head. He's an analyst for Fox now. But anyway, he's looking to coach again. And there's talks of like bringing him to Miami, and Tom Brady joins him in Miami. Apparently, Rex Ryan is saying that those two are attached at the hip.
Oh, really?
Like they'll go wherever, but they're going to go together. And he thinks with Washington's new ownership, they're going to bring new owners in, and they're not tied to Rivera, and they're going to oust him, and they're going to want to bring in what's his name and Tom Brady, which his name just. So he thinks next season the Washington Commanders will be quarterbacked by Tom Brady and coached by the head coach of the Saints there, that former guy, whatever his name, just I can't remember it. I'll think of it here in a second.
I'm Googling it now.
Yeah, it's Payton, Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, yeah.
Thank you. That's the name I was trying to think of. Sean Payton. Him. So Rex Ryan is saying, don't be surprised if Sean Payton's coaching the Commanders and Tom Brady's quarterbacking them next year. I laugh.
How would that make you feel?
As a fan,
it would give you guys a chance.
As a fan, I'm excited. Sure, I'm like, hey, at least something's going on here.
Yeah.
Let's see what they do with it. I mean, I can't discredit Tom Brady. The guy just defies logic every year. So I'm like, I can't not be upset about that.
It's pretty sad. I was sitting at a table the other night with it was a table full of Packers fans.
Yeah,
and we all came to the consensus that we're done with our quarterback. Favre just needs to move on.
Rodgers, you mean?
Rodgers.
Yeah, I got a feeling he's gone.
He's not. He didn't care about the actual game itself anymore.
Like. Yeah,
he's moving to Hollywood.
Yeah, he's trying to get all. I don't know what he is, artsy or something. I don't know. But anyway, I think you're right. I think they have a guy waiting in the wings in Green Bay, don't they?
I think
usually that's how they do it.
He ain't.
I think they want to give that guy a chance. I think is what the deal is.
I feel like this next season is going to be a definite shakeup in a lot of things.
Yeah, of course, Green Bay's Green Bay, man. Green Bay is not the Washington Commanders.
Green Bay.
Green Bay is a class organization that does things for the most part pretty consistent. They're not a team that has a lot of shenanigans going on in their house. At least not publicly.
They're the only team that's basically owned by a consortium of fans.
Yeah. So Green Bay's going to be fine.
Right.
I mean, I'm like, regardless of who's at the helm, they're going to be competitive just because that's that organization.
It's true.
Them and the Steelers, there's a couple like that are always like that. And yes, it annoys the bejesus out of a lot of people that aren't fans of these franchises, but every one of us that are fans of other franchises wish we had the stability of the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers running our show. At least as a Commanders fan, I would be happier than a pig in poop doing that. So.
I would just be thrilled to have a quarterback that wasn't, hey, look at me. It's all about him.
So we'll
That'd
see.
Be nice.
To be honest, I got to go.
Yep.
If all that happens, I want to keep the defense intact. Don't mess with that because it's good. All right, time for news. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. GOP lawmakers in Congress say that embattled Congressman George Santos of New York will not serve on his two committees for now. Santos has admitted to fabricating key parts of his background since his election in November. Memphis officials have disciplined 2 more police officers and 3 emergency responders in connection with the fatal beating of motorist Tyree Nichols. The punishments were announced after police released video of the incident.
A 6th officer, Preston Hiphill, is heard on the video saying he stunned Nichols and that he hoped officers would stop him as well. Nichols and the 5 officers are black. Hiphill is white. No details were given about the 7th officer. Meanwhile, fire department officials announced the firing of 2 emergency medical technicians and a lieutenant. The department says the 3 failed to adequately assess Nichols' condition. I'm Norman Hall.
Winter weather is bringing ice to Texas and nearby states, and it's causing the cancellation today of more than 980 flights and delays to nearly 800 more. One traffic death was reported in Austin, Texas. As the White House and Congress debate increasing the nation's debt ceiling, the Treasury Department has announced plans to increase its borrowing.
The move highlights the ongoing debate over federal spending that has overtaken Washington as the U.S. government is on track to max out on its $31.4 trillion statutory borrowing authority, also known as the debt ceiling. Treasury officials said Monday the U.S. plans to borrow $932 billion during the January to March quarter, which is $353 billion more than announced last October. That's due to a lower beginning of quarter cash balance of $253 billion and projections of lower than expected income tax receipts and higher spending. Keith Peters reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
We're entering a time of increasing hostility against people of faith, a time when Christians are going to be tested on a moral and
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
In the lawsuit filed Monday, the former president said he agreed to the audio recordings for Woodward's 2020 book titled Rage. He says he did not agree to the audio being used for an audio book. Mr. Trump is seeking nearly $50 million in damages. Tasha Stevens reporting.
It's the end of an era for the Boeing 747. The last jumbo jet is leaving the Seattle area factory today. The Boeing plane debuted back in 1969. And over the past more than half century, the 747 has served as a cargo plane, a commercial aircraft capable of carrying nearly 500 passengers, and the Air Force One presidential aircraft. News and analysis online at townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston. 6 western states that rely on water from the Colorado River have agreed on a model to dramatically cut water use. But there's one major holdout.
California gets the largest allocation of water from the Colorado. The river and its tributaries wind through 7 states, serving 40 million people and a $5 billion a year agriculture industry. 2 gigantic reservoirs, Lake Powell and Lake Mead, have reached historic lows, reflecting the stress on the river amid drought and all that demand and consequent overuse. The Bureau of Reclamation called on the states to propose ways to conserve 2 to 4 million acre-feet of water. They've now come up with a plan. California, however, has not signed on, saying it will submit its own model for water reductions. I'm Ben Thomas.
The Federal Reserve is poised this week to raise its benchmark interest rate for an 8th time since last March. I'm Greg Clugston. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Is that what I sound like when I talk? Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Crazy Miracles
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. It's a little rainy.
Freezing foggy,
and
black icy.
Oh, be careful out there. I've had multiple people say they've been slipping and sliding around as they go out and about this morning, so be careful.
It's deceiving because there's no snow on the ground. You don't assume it's slippery.
That black ice that they always talk about that most of us like, what? Today's the day where you're like, oh, black ice. Now I know what they're talking about. So, yeah, be careful if you're out and about out there. And to be honest, our high is like 35 today.
Yeah,
so, we're not going to see a lot of melting. And it's supposed to be cloudy all day, so we'll probably, like what we see now, I feel like this is what we got all day today. May get a little warmer by a couple degrees, but for the most part, what you see is what you get today. And then tomorrow we got rain and snow, but by like this weekend, you're going to be in t-shirts and hanging out and chilling.
It's funny, I sort of plied my daughter to have a good day yesterday by saying we'll do something after you get out of school if you have a good day. It was freezing yesterday. I mean, colder than it is today. Yesterday.
It was pretty, like yesterday leaving work and everything.
It was bitter.
Chilled.
Yeah, it was bitter cold. So I'm like, okay, I know. We'll go to the candy store and let them each pick something out. That'll be fun.
It's nice and indoors.
My kid picks ice cream. She wanted ice cream.
She's a girl after my own heart.
I'm like, oh.
There's never a bad time to eat ice cream.
Listen, let's try the candy store today. We'll put ice cream in our back pocket for later. Candy store was closed.
Oh, so guess where you went?
She got friggin' ice cream.
Girl after my own heart.
It made me mad though. It's like I don't want her to win. At that point, it was more about the win. It's like fine, she gets her treat, but
so now I must ask, what is your daughter's go-to ice cream?
Oh, she only has one. It's cookies and cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's always been her go-to because she likes Oreos.
I got you.
Yeah. Instantly her go-to. My son, he likes to dance around the fruit area. He tried mango, wasn't a fan. Right now he's on a strawberry kick. He really likes strawberry.
Okay.
So he kind of bounces around.
Okay, good for him. But he's more like dad.
Yeah.
Because you're pretty adventurous.
I tend to bounce around, although I do have my go-tos. And they don't have it at the place we go to get ice cream, but I love a good and most people know it as creamsicle or dreamsicle. I grew up with it as Dream Cooler.
Okay.
Because that's what it was called at Brahms, which is just the combination of vanilla ice cream and orange sherbet.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
I have a question since we're talking ice cream, and it popped up over the weekend.
Okay.
I was watching an old episode of 2.5 Men.
As one does.
And the Charlie Sheen version.
Oh, okay.
Not the Ashton Kutcher.
Right.
So Charlie Sheen, it was at the point where he's kind of dating the stalker, next door neighbor.
Yeah.
So Charlie Sheen is requested to go over to her apartment, but to bring with him ice cream and something else. I don't remember what, sprinkles. And I'm like, okay. She wanted butter brickle ice cream.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Is that like butter pecan? What is butter? I've never heard of butter brickle ice cream.
I've heard of it. I think it's a butter toffee. I think it's basically like a toffee ice cream.
I was like, what is butter brickle ice cream?
That's the only thing I can think of when I think of brickle is kind of
like butter pecan or something.
It's kind of like brittle is what I thought. Okay. So let me. I'm curious too but yeah, I don't think it's involves nuts.
And I had never heard of butter brickle ice cream. So I was like, what is butter brickle ice cream?
It's a chocolate coated toffee.
It's like a score bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love this.
Right?
I'm a butter brick. Sign me up for butter brickle.
Who knew I like me some butter brickle?
Yeah, so it's a score bar.
It's basically a score bar. It
says vanilla ice cream or
first manufactured by John G. Woodward Co. of Council Bluffs, Iowa. The toffee pieces for flavoring ice cream manufactured by the Finn Brothers Ice Cream Candy. Yeah, so it's just details. But yeah, it's just chocolate covered butter toffee.
In a vanilla ice cream?
In a vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm down with that.
I didn't know until real recently that butterfat made a difference. But you can actually like get ice cream that's specifically higher in butterfat. And there's like one kind of ice cream, I think it's available at this one shop in like Colorado, and it's the highest butterfat that can be legally allowed to be sold. I'm like, legally? That sounds like a challenge I'm willing to accept. Like, why
a marketing
legally?
gimmick. I don't think that. I think this is a marketing gimmick.
Like, we honestly can't put more
like, there's not someone
in
going,
this.
there's not someone regulating butterfat. Oh, wait a minute. This is the line
this is a
right
step
here.
too far. I don't know. Well, I think maybe it's the most butterfat you can put into an ice cream to legally still call it ice cream before it turns into something else.
What
maybe.
you in for? Putting too much butterfat in my ice cream.
Like, what is if you have too much butterfat in ice cream? What does that make it? Just butter at that point?
Fat.
Well, because ice cream and butter are basically the same thing. It's just cream in different forms.
Yeah.
So, I guess if you have a certain amount too much butterfat, it's just butter at that point.
So it's too creamy, too rich.
It's
what are we
too
talking about?
it's too buttery. But I genuinely wanted to try it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if you had ice cream and it had a butter taste to it, would it be good or not? I feel like it's not.
It is.
Is it?
Really? So there was this one ice cream they used to have it just in pints. They sell it up at the Walmart, and it was this. It was like 20% butterfat, but it was this like whiskey flavor or rum, some alcohol flavored ice cream. But it was like I was just like, oh, I'll have a little bit. I couldn't stop. I ate the entire thing.
Well, I'll be darned.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm. Whip me up some extra butterfat and a chocolate ice cream, and I will give it a little dance and see what we got going on there. So, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a minute. Whether you like it or not, that's a whole nother story, but we're going to give it to you. Then here in just a few, we're going to play our interview we had Friday. In the 8 o'clock hour, we had Chaves County Manager Bill Williams join us, and we talked a little bit about the last county commission meeting, but we also had Chaves County's CFO, Annabelle Barraza. We talked a little bit about what she does and finances in Chaves County, so it's pretty good conversation we have with those two. So we'll play that for you here in just a bit. But it is a 37-minute interview.
Yeah,
so
you should do it.
I was a little winded on that particular day. Actually, they were explaining a lot of stuff, so I had to be less winded. But you know me, I don't shut my mouth. All right, it is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a gander at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have stationary front overhead. We might get a little bit of freezing drizzle through about mid-morning, and then cloudy and cold through the afternoon. We'll be staying in the mid to upper 30s today. Cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Some freezing drizzle possible. And then tomorrow looks about the same. Freezing drizzle in the morning, and then a few afternoon rain showers, partly cloudy, and going up to 40. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I didn't scroll high enough, 25 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 88%. Winds currently out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. Freezing fog advisory remains in effect through 10 a.m. this morning. Expect freezing fog lingering around till about 11 today. Mostly cloudy, high of 36 expected. So we're not warming up a whole bunch more, but we'll see. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight. Expect an overnight low of 24 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Then Wednesday, we got a whole cornucopia of stuff going on tomorrow. There is a 40% chance of snow showers before 11 tomorrow. Then it changing over to a mix of rain and snow. Mostly cloudy, high of 39 tomorrow. So by midday, it's probably more rain than snow. South winds 5 to 10. Here's the part, the caveat, kids. Sorry. Little to no snow accumulation expected. So probably going to be icy. Be a little careful, but don't expect to see a bunch of snow sitting on the ground when you wake up tomorrow. Tomorrow night, we are looking at a 20% chance of rain showers before 11 p.m., then it changing over to freezing rain after that. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 27, south winds at around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, when you wake up, there is a 20% chance of snow before 11, partly cloudy, but gradually becoming sunny, warming up into the 50s on Thursday with north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, all this cold speak will be in the rearview mirror for the week. Sunny and 60 on Friday, and it gets even nicer for the weekend. Mostly sunny and 67 Saturday, sunny and 66 on Sunday. And then Monday of next week, when you're headed to work and school, they're talking sunny skies, highs right around 70. So we'll see if that holds, but I'm looking and I'm liking. Just got to get to the next couple days. All right, 9:16, quick commercial break, and then our interview with the folks from Chaves County, Bill Williams, and CFO Annabelle Barrazo. We'll be up next. Don't go away.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
9 of 10 people with pre-diabetes don't even know they have it. Left untreated, diabetes can lead to other health complications including heart disease, stroke, and liver disease. Don't put off your care any longer. Artesia General Hospital's Diabetes Care Team can help you make a personalized plan to manage diabetes or pre-diabetes and reclaim your health. Learn more or request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/diabetes.
Eastern New Mexico University in Portales is proud to offer potential students the opportunity to attend ENMU tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. And now we are proud to announce the newly created Freshman Hound Housing Room Grant, which will allow students the opportunity to receive up to $3,000 per year off their housing costs when living on the ENMU campus. For more information on how ENMU is making higher education more affordable for you and your family members, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Up your spotting game with the help of Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Zia Guns USA is now an authorized full-line Tacticam dealer. The same scopes, cameras, and spotting equipment that the big boys use on TV. So now you can capture your hunt like never before. Zia Guns USA in Roswell also has a new shipment of knives by Benchmade and Case. Come check out the amazing selection for yourself. Take your hunt to the next level with Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Closed on Saturdays but open on Sundays at 1907 North Main in Roswell.
Using locally owned and operated Zenith Security Services gets you service after the sale, quick turnaround time, security systems tailored to your needs, an actual person when you call, and you're investing in your community. Zenith Security has provided security solutions for southeastern New Mexico since 1998, and we care about our community. When you have security needs, remember, give the locals a shot and call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
If you got a lot of peanut butter and a lot of time on your hands, knock yourself out. Maybe you're rich. Maybe, hey, you figured out, let these people know they're going to figure out the way of the county to do the same thing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, Bill Williams, Chaves County Manager, joining us each month as he always does. And then he brought a guest this morning with him as well.
The brain trust of the county, her department. I mean, we have a lot of really good people, but these are the people that keep us all in place. So this is good. Annabelle.
Yes, Annabelle Barraza, the Chaves County Chief Financial Officer, CFO.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, since we're here, we're going to be talking money and things because that's the F part of the CFO financial side. So we'll talk a little bit about this ordinance that's coming out and things like that. But before we kind of delve into that. Do we want to kind of talk about some highlights from the last commission meeting?
We'll just kind of go through it kind of the way we normally do.
Sure,
and it won't be very long, and we'll be back to Annabelle's spot.
You're the meat in our sandwich here.
Okay.
Well, let's get the lettuce and the pickles on here first.
Well, this is our first meeting of the year, and as we talked about before, there's a lot of housekeeping involved. So the very first thing we did after we, did pledge and made sure there was a quorum and everything, we had the election of officers for 2023. We had to elect the new chairman and vice chairman.
Yeah, because,
Will Cavan retired.
He did say,
retired, whatever you want to call that.
He dropped the mic, said, I'm out.
Yeah, mic dropped. Exactly.
Just like that, too.
Yeah. And we were fortunate. He came and joined us yesterday. But first thing we did was
get away.
Elected the officers, and I started to say Will Cavan. Will Cavan was not elected chairman. However, Jeff Bilberry was elected chairman. He was the vice chair last year.
Yes.
And Calder Ezell is our vice chairman.
Very good.
So,
and of course,
Michael Perry is our newest member.
Yes.
On the team. So.
He's replacing what would have been the former chairman.
He's going to be our new drummer,
who turned out. Okay, so he's part of the backup.
Part of the band. Yeah.
So and now Jeff's. Is he in his second term now?
Yes, he's in his second term.
Okay, which makes sense.
He should have about 2 more years.
Okay, so very good. So he'll probably finish out his term here as the chairman, the person in charge. Right. And then I always get chairman and president. They flip titles. And like, like the head dude in charge here.
Yeah, the big guy.
That's right.
So first thing that we did is we had some proclamations. Again, we tried to do this in December because it's Champions Day for both the Goddard volleyball team and the Gateway Christian Warriors volleyball team and the Goddard, or we already did Goddard, and the Gateway football team.
Yeah.
So they all won state championships
blue trophies
in December, and we tried to do a proclamation in December. And unfortunately for us, but fortunately for them, they were taking their final test. So
yeah, that's a little bit higher importance.
Yeah, it was
than
a little
giving
more
them an
important.
award
So we couldn't get them to come. So we still proclaimed it last month, but we actually proclaimed that January the 26th was going to be Champions Day in Chaves County.
Nice.
For the Gateway Christian Warriors football team, the Gateway Christian Warriors volleyball team, and the Goddard High Rockets volleyball team.
Awesome.
They were all champions. And because former Commissioner Cavan, retired Commissioner Cavan, was a coach and very involved in athletics around our community.
Sure.
He, of course, was the chairman. He signed all these proclamations. So he came in and read each proclamation and then was there to present the proclamation.
Technically happened on his watch last month.
So it was kind of a nice
sense.
little twist, and we appreciated him coming down and doing that. And it was really good, as it always is, to see the youth from our community there just packing.
He couldn't wait to get there and do it, I'm sure. It wasn't a bunch of arm twisting.
Yeah, I didn't have to twist his arm.
The passion's there, and you get that. Yeah. That's great. I love when we spotlight our youth and really everybody in our county that's doing great things. That's the fun part of the commission meetings. Get to the first part, 'cause that's usually when that all takes place, is the first part of the meeting.
And we really like it when we have a public hearing that draws people from the community. When we have 20, 30 people from the community there to talk about whatever the subject is.
Sure.
That just really hits home, because that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Well, and then, every commissioner sitting up there, they obviously have a passion for this county and want the best for this county. And when you do that day in and day out, and you do it to an empty room, the psyche's like, am I the only one that cares, or other people care?
Well, as you know, a lot of our meetings
are
a lot of housekeeping, just making sure things are done, and budget adjustments, which we have the person who presents those budget adjustments with us today. Yes. And so if you have any questions about how those work, I always kind of gloss over them, that we have to do as a part of our business. But Annabelle she can dive deep into all of that stuff.
Well, a lot of times with these budget adjustments, it's just because obviously running a government entity budget, whether it's state, county, city, doesn't matter. It's way different than running a household or even a business budget. Right. First thing is a transparency issue. That's, everything's done under the public eye. So when, a lot of times what we see as, well, we really had to have a meeting for this, is for that transparency side. So no one can come in and say, you're doing this under secret, and what kind of shenanigans are going on here. So a lot of it, what you have to do is kind of for that transparency for the visuals, as much as it is for the actual act of doing whatever needs doing there.
Right. Any of the budget adjustments that we have, of course, is using public money, so we have to have it out there in the public to see what exactly we're doing. It's like my predecessor used to say, our budget's always in beta. We plan out what we think we're going to expense, but things happen, inflations occur. Like, for example, in this budget adjustment, we get different grants, and so then we always have to be constantly changing the budget. But in order to do that, we have to have it before the public and have commissioners approve it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's something, too, when you talk about, and Bill and I have mentioned this over the years, and of course, Stan before him. Right. We used to always talk about, money comes from different places, and it's earmarked. And that's what you're talking about, like these grants and things. You get a grant, but that grant's for, let's say, alcohol and rehab facility or something like that. Well, you can't take one dime of that money and put it in the general fund. You just because that's not what the grant's for, and the people that gave us the grant will be very salty if you do that, and then bad things happen after that.
And you know, like we've talked about in the past too, we do our ICIP. We come up with a idea of what a project's going to cost, and then we rank them by priority, and then we go to our legislators and say, hey, we really need money this year for this project, Project C, whatever. And so then they often will give us money, and then so now we've got money to actually pursue this. It may have been on the ICIP for 5 years, and we try to update and keep those numbers current and accurate, but with inflation like it's been, we go into a project and the price is outrageous. And so then we have to make those adjustments like Annabelle's talking about. Okay, how are we going to cover the other $20,000 that we need for this project, or $50,000, or can we phase this so that we can go and find some money somewhere else on these larger projects? A good example is the courthouse windows. You know, it started out at $450,000, what the opinion of probable cost by an architect came in at, and you know, it ultimately is going to be about $1.2 million.
Total. So when, you know, as a CFO, is it kind of your job to, like, when you get into these scenarios, when we got, say, a project and some money came in and we're like, all right, we need to figure out, now, does this change priorities? You know, obviously the commission, they're going to make the decisions based off the information they're given from. So is it kind of your job to present them, all right, here's the different options. Option one is we move money here from here and do this. Option B is we don't do this and we take money from here and put this. Is that kind of your job, is to say, all right, here's your three choices of what we can do with it, what direction you want to take it in? Is that kind of part of your job as CFO?
Yeah, and usually that happens really at the beginning of the budget.
Okay.
For the budget adjustments that happen throughout the year, if it's a certain grant, it has to be remaining. Like you said, it's restricted.
Sure.
So it has to be restricted in a certain fund. And
Sure.
out of that is where we expend the money.
Sure.
Now, if there is an inflation where the project's going to cost more, then at that point, it's usually going to be coming out of our general operating budget.
Gotcha.
So that's where we go in and look to see if we actually have the amount of revenues coming in to be able to cover that.
Okay.
Or sometimes we even have to cut in certain areas to be able to accommodate those projects. So,
Well, and I know government's glacial compared to everything else, and again, part of this transparency thing, but does it ever get to a point where you're saying, okay, we got a project on the table, and we're going through with it, we've already budgeted with our general fund with it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere a grant pops in and says, oh, well, here's an extra $500,000 towards that project. Now you guys go in and say, okay, well, now we can pull $500,000 out of our general fund. I mean, is that something that happens, or is that a unicorn thing?
Well, a good example of that is our health department that we started to build. So we determined that, you know, with all this federal money that's coming that our great-great-grandchildren are going to be repaying, we need to do something that's going to be here 50 years from now, rather than just somebody say, yeah, I remember when my parents got a boat because they got a rebate from the government. You know, we want to be well beyond that. We want to have something that'll last and provide a service for our community. Well, we started out, the cost of that, because of the equipment, the shortages, the inflation, the lack of workers, all that price has gone up exponentially. And so we started out with a commitment by the county to put some money towards this, and then we got the federal funding. We committed to put some of that money towards it, but we didn't stop. And part of Annabelle's department, they do grant writing, and they seek these things out and try to find them. And the community development block grant that we just recently received added $750,000 from another location into that fund. Now they all have to be in separate bank accounts, if you want to call it, separate line items, but they can only be used for that thing. So she's got at least 3, I think, now that are going to be driving the payments for that.
I was just curious if those pop up quick, or any, like you've literally set the game plan out, and then all of a sudden out of left field it's like, hey, here's a free. I mean, is that something that happens a lot, or is that pretty rare?
Not a lot. It's kind of rare. But the good thing about here at the county is that we meet every month, and we meet with our procurement, with finance, with the grants, with our public services director and Bill. And so if we have something rare like that come up, and we know that there's other monies coming in, then someone will know, well, you know, there was something coming up that was kind of emergent, but we were trying to hold off on it because we didn't have the funds. Maybe now we can go ahead and pursue that. So
you guys can pivot pretty quick if something like that does happen.
We try to,
We have a great staff that really do adjust very quickly. Speaking of great staff, I want to talk about something else that happened yesterday morning. We gave a shout out, I guess, to two of our employees who are retiring. One of them is Robert Ortiz, affectionately known as Robert O. And he was running his latest job. He worked for the county in a couple of different departments for numerous years, but he was the court services. Is that what his title was?
Yes, it's under the court services. It's the community service driver.
Oh, okay.
And so he was the guy that would take the court-ordered interns around town, court-ordered volunteers around town picking up trash.
Okay.
Any number of things that they would do.
Manage their activities for the day to meet their
you'd
needs.
see them out on
their
the courthouse lawn raking up leaves.
Yeah.
And Robert was right there with them every step of the way, doing the work with them. And we'd say, Robert, no, they're supposed to do that work. You just guide and direct. And he is such a hard worker. That was the hardest part with Robert. So
some people you just can't stand to watch. You got to pick it up.
And so we gave him a shout out. And then the other person who retired yesterday was Georgiana Hunt, who works in the finance department as the grant writer and other things. She has done many, many things, worn lots of hats over the years, but
So you're losing a little experience in your office, too.
Yes, I am. It's bittersweet. Like I mentioned yesterday, by all means, she deserves this retirement, but it is a little bit of a heartbreak to lose her. So.
Well, and this is something, and you and I have talked about, the county, this is how the county operates. When you have these folks, the county's blessed. We have a lot of people that have 10, 15, 20 years and more that have served Chavez County in various departments and things. But the county kind of runs that way. So, there's a reason why people spend 20, 30 years at one place. They might move different departments, but they're under the umbrella of Chavez County. And, usually when you see a lot of those, that's kind of a good indicator of a pretty good place to work. But you're constantly grooming and training and preparing people. So, you didn't just show up and be CFO. I imagine you probably did a lot of things within the county, and then they said, it's time to make Annabelle the CFO here.
Well, and
that's how the county works.
She trained under another one who was excellent, and Joe Cedillo. I mean, how many years was Joe there? And man, as smart as Annabelle is, no. Joe is very smart.
Isn't that
I don't know if he's quite. But thing is the young lady who's going to be taking Georgiana's place. She's also from the county, Adriana Zapata.
Yes.
And
she's been with the county for about 13 years
nice.
already.
So she's not new either.
And they know her personality. They know the kind of work she does. She's one of those that make sure every T is crossed, every I is dotted, which is very important in that job. A lot of reporting.
Absolutely. And I imagine, first couple weeks in office, she's already starting that mentorship of the next generation to take over the job.
Georgiana's been doing training for a couple of weeks now, I think. Yeah. And she's going to, of course, the thing is, most people who leave the county, it is like their family. They don't have a problem. Hey, if you run into something you need help with, just give me a call, and I'm available.
Yes.
And so they're just a phone call away, and they stop in and check on us often when they retire and leave.
Yeah.
So
look at Stan Riggs technically does lawyer work and things but he hasn't been the county manager in years. He keeps still showing up. Look at him. Just kidding. It's like making fun. That's the off chance he's listening.
There's a possibility he's listening. He listens more than you think.
He'll be like, I heard what you said.
And for an attorney, he listens more than you think. That is pretty amazing.
And he'll use it against me later.
So on our agenda, one of the first things we did was a public hearing on a question. We've talked about this one before. Every odd year, we're required to determine if we want to pursue an ordinance property tax rebate benefiting low-income property taxpayers in the county. Want to know if that should be made available through an ordinance. And the problem with that is twofold. First of all, I think there's only one, maybe two counties in the state that have actually enacted it. We feel and have felt, and most counties in New Mexico feel, this was something that was set up by the legislature. But the problem is, who's low income? It's not real clear how
the guidelines are muddy at best.
Well, and they do go off of income tax. But as you know, income tax can be manipulated.
Absolutely.
You can claim a huge loss over here. A CEO of a major multi-million-dollar company can be under the poverty line.
Hey, look at our politicians, all of them. They all figure out those ways. When you get up to
so that's the first issue with it. And the second problem with it is the tax is not actually forgiven. It's just shifted to another place.
Gotcha.
So we still have to pay the schools. We still have to do all
Somebody's getting their money regardless.
Right.
And so basically, if we do this ordinance, it gets split up, and we have to go out to the public, and we have to actually add a tax on everybody to make up the difference on this low income tax rebate. And that's, to us, that's just a way it's a bad scenario where you could have people who are abusing the system, who are laughing all the way to the bank, and the rest of us who work hard every day trying to pay off those debts that aren't ours.
Right.
And so, as far as I know, we've never even given much consideration to passing that. I don't know how long it's been on the books. Do you, Annabelle?
Oh,
It's been on there for
since
a long time.
Yeah,
as long as I've been here.
And every other year we go over the thing again, and other than Santa Fe County and maybe one other, no
Nobody
one has
passes
ever passed that. And then we went on to an amendment to ordinance number 7 pertaining to wind energy, and some clarification on some terms and adding some definitions so that when the wind energy section was put in, there was a terminology for it. Some of the stuff that was in that is that we don't want them so close to town that they're blinking and keeping everybody up at night.
Sure.
So we're trying to keep like a 10-mile buffer zone from any really inhabited place. Not only just the city limits of Roswell, but if you said 10 miles, well, that puts them right out at Buena Vista.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to have some other considerations of subdivisions and population densities and areas to keep them kind of off in a distance. And 10 miles is really not that far when it's something as large as a wind turbine.
Yeah.
If you've ever left us,
Especially when you live out in a place like this where you can see miles of nothing
Right.
before
well,
you.
when you leave Encino, just as you turn back to the north, if you look off, there are several wind turbines up there. The one that appears to be the furthest away is right about 10 miles, and it looks like it's right there. You know, it's not huge, but I mean, it's easily spottable.
Yeah, it's
and
not
then at night,
blended in the background at all.
and then
right?
at night, those lights just flash constantly. You know, if you're
see that annoying.
epileptic, I think it might put you into
Especially as dark as it is out there. It's not like it's in the city when it's being kind of washed within all the other lights. It's
one of the
it's a beacon.
one of the requirements we put in our ordinance was they need to be aircraft. I can't remember the term for it, but the lights do not flash all the time. They're on a radio signal when an aircraft flies over.
Right.
It's aircraft detection system.
Yeah,
so
they
when
have
the aircraft
software
goes
that-
over,
yeah,
then the
friendly
lights
foe and all that,
flash
yeah.
to let the aircraft know where they're at. They get past, out of range, the lights go off. So
Yeah.
the bulk of the time, the lights are going to be off, and that's much more palatable to us than lights just flashing and flashing and flashing.
Military aircraft have beacons and things that kind of tell if they're friend or foe. So you can, when you're in the fog of war, you can kind of tell who the good guys versus the bad guys are and all that. So I imagine it's similar technology they're using to say, all right, plane approaching, need to turn the lights on. All right, he's far enough away, turn it off. That's that line.
And another thing that we thought about that I don't know, I've never seen it anywhere else, but do you remember Burma Shave?
Yeah.
The little billboards along the road, you know, just a rhyme every half mile. You've got another phrase to it. We got to thinking about how many of those are right adjacent to highways. And what's the likelihood at some point they start leasing out space, your ad here, and we said, we don't want a bunch of advertisement popping up all over our, you know, pristine views here. So we put, there's no advertising on these. And maybe ridiculous to assume that, but I bet somebody somewhere, someday,
where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah.
Figure out a way to make money off putting advertisements on the sides of
I
those.
completely agree with you, yes.
And we
at
also
some
said
point.
they have to be certain colors. You know, we don't want any purple, pink,
Right.
you know,
You don't want to turn them
bright
into
red. We
the-
want them to blend with the environment. So, so we put little things like that in there. And we will be discussing that again next month. So we'll talk about it a little bit more. After that, we had a couple of housekeeping chores, a notice of public meetings for both the indigent hospital health care and for the commissioners, talking about when we would advertise, when the meetings are held. And we are going to have 3 meetings who moved from the third Thursday this month, this year, which first one was yesterday.
Okay.
February's meeting will be a week later.
Okay.
And June's meeting will be a week later. Otherwise, they're all scheduled for the third night.
Very good.
So we kind of know when they are. So we did those 2 resolutions, and then we did a budget adjustment.
Yes.
And then Annabelle shined. Annabelle always does a great job, but Annabelle can tell you what she did at that point.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the budget adjustment here before we get into the
Sure.
ordinance here.
Yeah, we had several things on there this time. We did have a state junior bill, and that was for the Midway Joy Center. We had we had some items that they were able to purchase with that. Since we're their fiscal agent,
Yes.
we receive it, and then we oversee the expenses.
For those who don't know, the county does serve as fiscal agent for all the Joy Centers.
Yes.
In Travis County.
That's right. For the Valley and furniture side, it doesn't necessarily mean an increase in salaries. It just helps cover those expenses on our side.
Gotcha.
There was also, like I mentioned earlier, an increase in one of the fire trucks that we were wanting to purchase, place an order for. They increased the prices on that. So what we had originally budgeted for, it was a little bit off on that amount. So we had to do an increase on that as
Sure.
well.
Yeah, you can't go in and say, hey, you used to charge this price. That's all we got. They're like, well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to tell you. So we're like, all right, we got to pony up the extra money. Where's that coming from?
And those fire trucks take like 2 years to build now.
take 2
It's a
years.
huge investment.
I would
of
imagine
time
the
and money
technology involved in a state-of-the-art fire truck is night and day different than a fire truck from, say, 20, 30 years ago, I'm guessing. Yeah. So that makes sense. Just in the world we live,
Yeah.
Shoot, look at our phones.
Right.
You think something as tiny as that is advances. See what they've done in something like a fire truck.
In a fire truck. Oh, definitely. Yeah. And they are really nice trucks even to look at. So.
And to be honest, when they show up to protect your property or home or whatever, you're not really asking how much it costs for that thing to be made. You're like, I want that thing here right now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. And so, and one of the other ones is another grant, which is again for fire, and it's the PRC grant, and that helps cover a lot of equipment.
Gotcha. Their personal protective, the
yes.
vests and the tanks and
all
the stuff that keeps them alive when they're doing their job. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were able to get one of those grants for East Grand Plains. So that had to go in as a budget adjustment as well.
Good deal. Well, I don't think anybody's complaining about getting those kind of things because it's needed stuff.
It's needed.
Well, and we have a entirely volunteer fire department within the county. We have all the different departments. Every person that shows up to your burning house is doing that on their own time. They're not getting paid.
Volunteers.
And so, thank you to all
We
of
do
them.
appreciate every single one of them. Absolutely. So let's give them the best equipment we can possibly give them to help keep us safe. So.
Exactly.
So I guess let's shift a little bit about this the ordinance 112, which the county, like the city that their main way of bringing income into the city is through gross receipts. So when you go to the store and buy your groceries and stuff, you pay a couple pennies on your purchase, and that goes to the state, and then the state says, we deemed you this, and we give you a little piddlings check each month. And that's kind of how it works. Some will argue on those numbers and accuracy and things, but that's another conversation for another day.
Yes.
But the cities, that's how they pay the bills, so to speak. And now the county is looking at adding this as an additional way to bring revenue. Let's kind of explain just what this means and how it works, and then how it impacts the public
because
here.
this is actually not an addition. So
this is where we kind of want to
clarify,
explain it, and be like, wait a minute, you're going to take money out, but how does that work? And so let's do the math for them, or at least the rudimentary stuff to kind of give them the concept on how the gross receipts works and how it'll impact them and how it impacts the county.
Sure. So like you mentioned, when you go to the store, you do pay gross receipts tax, and that's actually on items that are not food or medical.
Gotcha.
But you do pay for hot meals, or if you go to McDonald's or anywhere like that, you do
Any
have
prepared foods.
Right.
It's kind of like and I know some of the rules for like EBT and stuff like that. You can buy groceries, but you can't buy prepared food.
meals,
Same kind of concept with
With
what
the
you can
gross
collect
receipts.
gross receipts. Yeah.
That's right. So within the city, you do have a certain percentage, which is 7.7083%. So if you purchase $100 worth of stuff, of course, paper towels, anything like that, that's not considered a food or medical. You would pay about $7 off of that $100 purchase.
Gotcha.
Out in the county, outside city limits, it's 6.3958%. So if you go, for example, to the Dollar General out in Midway, that's the percentage you would pay because it's considered out of city limits.
Gotcha.
So yes, like you mentioned, that goes back up to the state. So all these businesses have to actually report these gross receipts and pay them to the state. 2 months after, the state comes back and gives us our portion to the county and to the municipalities. For us, the county, we 0.9583%. amount.
Okay.
So that is overall of everything that we do receive in gross receipts, and that comes out about 15 million a year that we get for that 0.9583%. Now, this ordinance, what this is, and leading into this, is Ordinance 0112 is actually replacing Ordinance 0090.
Okay.
Back in 2014, Ordinance 0090 was presented because of this hold harmless. Now, the hold harmless term is actually for this, where the food and medical don't get taxed. Under the Richardson administration back then, they decided not to pass gross receipts onto those that have the food and the medical purchases, but the counties and municipalities would be impacted. So what the state did is they turned around and said, okay, we're not going to be passing on these gross receipts for food and medical, but counties, municipalities will make up for that money ourselves. So the state was giving us that money.
Right.
But,
allegedly.
Yeah. So they would try to, I don't know exactly the formula, how they came up with that. They were giving us a hold harmless amount for that, for food and medical. Now in 2015, prior to that, they said, hey, that's going to phase out. We're not going to be giving you this money. The state can't afford it anymore.
You're on your own now. Yeah.
So, so in 2014, they said, if you guys want, counties, municipalities, we'll go ahead and allow you to increment, which is a 1/8 increment, which is 0.125% of the gross receipts, to make up for this amount.
And I think Roswell did theirs
did.
within a short period of time thereafter. The county held off.
Yes.
And now we're saying, well, now it's time to do that.
Yeah, well, in 2014, we actually did pass it on.
Okay.
So it was incremented in 2015. So in July 1st of 2015, that 1/8 increment passed, as well as cities. The city's increment also happened at that time.
It's official.
Yeah. So, so now that that ordinance was placed, it was placed for several years, and that's sunsetting.
Okay.
So this ordinance, 1112, is going to replace that to continue to extend.
Gotcha. So it's really
because there's a time limit, of course, on the original one. That's why it sunsets. But we can't do without those funds and provide services. So we're just going to reenact it.
Just gee whiz curiosity to give people this.
Sure.
What happens if you don't renew it? What's the consequences?
If we don't renew it, it doesn't necessarily mean another entity won't pick it up.
Okay.
So the city could pick it up, or another organization could pick it up. And then the money, so the gross receipts will still stay the same. The citizens will still have to pay for that. It just won't be coming to the county at that point.
Gotcha.
So,
but
that's
somebody will be getting it. So.
Right. So it could still pretty much maintain status quo. It can still for the citizens, but it wouldn't for the county. And that would be a loss for us.
Basically, we're just yelling dibs. We're speaking up. But this is our 1/8.
Yeah. Don't come in and muscle us, and this is what we're going to, because at the end of the day, you use it to do what it's intended for.
County.
Right. Exactly. You get, you're taking care of and that's where indigent fund, and you get in that area, when we talk gross receipts, it's a slippery slope, and it's and this is where, and I think, and we could talk whether it's trust issues or what, but because of the way what the states promise and what actually happens, there is, so a lot of this kind of stuff is like, the state said, but we're CYA covering our butts while we can kind of moment. And so this is one of those kind of moments we're saying, I hear what you're saying, but we're preparing for the rainy day regardless, kind of thing. So that makes sense.
And this gross receipts it's really right now our main revenue source. So out of all of our revenue, the gross receipts is 38% of our overall revenue. So that's what helps, like you mentioned, the IHC. It helps our roads. It helps our general operating expenses.
Sure.
As well as talking about the fire trucks. Part of that gross receipts goes into a restricted fund that's specifically only for fire trucks. So there's a replacement schedule.
And
I imagine
our detention
law
costs.
enforcement.
And I imagine some of it's used for agreements and things, because obviously the city, the county, other counties partner together to, combine services or pool services. So, you know what I mean? So some of that probably goes into some of those agreements you have with the city on, trash, water,
or dispatch.
All of that stuff, dispatch, all the things that they're shared entities here. So. Which you need because, we all
and we have better purchasing power, when you can work as a group rather than we're going to get ours and they're going to get theirs, and both of us pay too much. We combine those things. And fortunately, the municipality, City of Roswell and Chaves County are working very well together. towards some common goals.
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
great.
very happy to be a part of that.
And you have to, just because, I mean, just for nothing else, you look at the south end of town and go down South Main, and you can't tell 1 minute whether you're in the county property or city
Right.
property.
Right.
You just don't know. You assume, but you're not. And so all this stuff's different depending if you're right here or right here. Right. And so you need to be in concert so that doesn't become a hot mess and things like that too. So that's all other variables that come into play when the commissioners and your staff and everybody's making these decisions on what's the next step or what's best to do with our finances or any aspect of government. So.
Yeah.
But, I've talked in the past many times about how qualified our staff is in Chaves County, whether they're in the road department, whether they're in facility maintenance, whether they're in finance, whether they're the clerk, the treasurer, the assessor. Everyone really strives to do a great job.
Yeah.
And I think we pointed that out with an emphasis this morning by bringing
Absolutely.
Annabelle here to
We
share.
appreciate you spending time with us on that.
Sure.
So, just curious, what's the process now? Now that we're talking, what's the next steps here? Is it going through a few more committees before the commission, or the commission going to start voting on this?
So right now, what we did yesterday was we asked for permission to go ahead and publish for the hearing. So this will be on the newspaper this Sunday.
Okay.
To let the public know as well. And we're also posting the ordinance on our website, and the county clerks will have a copy of that ordinance as well.
That's very good.
We're giving the public a chance to go ahead and see it before. On February 23rd, which is the next commission meeting,
Yes.
will be when...
Which is a week later than normal, as
Yes.
you were mentioning earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have the public have a chance to come up and make comments at that point about this ordinance. And then from there, we will ask the commissioners to approve or to not approve.
Gotcha.
It's up to them
So,
that point.
So a month from now, a decision
Yes.
will be one way or the other made.
Right.
Please, if you have opinions one way or the other on
Right.
this, this is why we have the public forums. This is your platform to speak your piece, whether you're for or against.
Exactly, whether you're for or against, because they will say, anybody here for,
Yeah.
and then they'll explain what they're talking about. People get the chance to come up, or anybody here against. I mean, both sides get heard.
Well, and the
then
commissioners
they have
want to
their
hear
debate,
it.
too.
Yeah, because I mean, the commissioners have their opinion, obviously,
Right.
because they're
Right.
thinking people, and that's what they do.
Correct.
But when they get enough sway one way or another, that does say, okay, well, maybe I need to rethink this, or no, that cements exactly with my ideology to begin with. So it's very important for you to state your thoughts one way or another on this. This is how our government works.
Well,
This is how
that's
you
why
participate.
every time we have a packed room, I love to
Yeah.
announce that, because that is what makes our government work.
Yeah.
And one of the stories we've told many times is we had no idea there was a bridge needed to be replaced. We were having a hearing, and all the neighbors came in and says, we're against this because we already have too many trucks. You can't see. It's unsafe. Really?
Yeah.
We drove out there and looked, sure enough. And so we aggressively pursued funding then for that bridge. We finally have that fully funded.
Yeah.
Construction should be starting.
It's
I
fun
hope
when
soon.
government works.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's too easy when it does
There were a
to
couple of
shoot it
stumbling
down.
blocks along the way on that
Yeah.
project, but we would not have known it. We'd still be sitting there not realizing how dangerous that bridge was had
Sure.
the public not come out. So always use your opportunity to come in, tell us what's on your mind, even if it's not on the radar, if it's not something we're discussing. We have unscheduled communications from the public. You can come up and say, hey, I'd like to see this happen. I'd like to see that happen, or thank you. And we just really appreciate people
And
coming
don't
in.
forget, if you go to the county's website, every county commissioner has an email or a way to reach to their office and contact them. Find out the one that represents you and share your concerns and questions. This is your representation, and I bet to a person, each one of them will get back to you in some way, shape, or form. May not give you the answer you want to hear all the time, but they will at least get you an answer and talk to you about that stuff. So just please, but come on out to the next meeting again.
Yes.
It'll be February 26th,
3rd.
Yes, February 23rd at 9.
9 a.m. in the county admin building. If you've never been in there or haven't been there recently, you go through the main entrance
and straight ahead.
Walk till you bump into another wall, and that's going to be the commission building, the commission chamber right there. So straight ahead. So
Yes.
can't miss it. Good deal. Is there anything we missed? Anything you guys want to share that we skipped over, didn't get a chance to talk about?
Everything else, pretty much housekeeping stuff. A little of this, little of that. Request permission to submit the EMS Fund Act application. They prepare that every year, and then they ask commissioners, can we turn this in? Yes, you can. We had a couple of out-of-state travels. One for Sean Davis to go to the Keep America Beautiful conference.
Okay.
Keep Chaves County Beautiful has been working with us for several years, and they've really helped us do a lot of things, and we're happy that they are representing us at this meeting in Washington, D.C.
Good deal.
Out-of-state travel for several deputies and lieutenants, I guess, for the sheriff's office in Reno, Nevada. The Western State Sheriff's Conference is where they were going. A couple of appointments to the Land Council, appointments to the New Mexico County Insurance Authority, voting members and backup. So, just the usual housekeeping that we have to do from
Tell
time to
those
time.
lieutenants, I've seen Reno 911, the TV show. I know the shenanigans that go on there. Be careful.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You ever watch that show? It's something. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate
You're welcome.
the visit.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
And
you.
anytime. And we'd love to, if you've got stuff you want to talk about, but love to reach out and just, give whatever. I know in this financial world, there's a lot of stuff, but if there's something that the public needs to know, we'd love to have you on to talk about it. So appreciate it. Thank
I'd
you
love
guys.
to be back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And
Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Artesia Police are offering a cash reward for information leading to the persons responsible for a rash of car burglaries. Crime Stoppers offering the $1,000 reward. On Tuesday of last week between 6 p.m. and midnight, multiple vehicles were vandalized at several different locations. Surveillance video shows one person wearing a gray hoodie appearing to slash tires on multiple vehicles. You can reach Crime Stoppers at 575-887-1888, and you can always remain anonymous. And state police are in Carlsbad investigating an officer-involved shooting. It happened Sunday afternoon at a home off Mora Street when authorities responded to the report of an uncooperative resident and a vehicle fire. Once police got there, the man barricaded himself inside the home and refused to come out. Reports indicate the man opened fire on deputies first. They returned fire. The man was eventually apprehended and taken to a hospital for a gunshot wound that was said to be non-life-threatening. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
This is Jason Espinoza with today's Capitol Report. Since 1917, the New Mexico Farm and Livestock Bureau has served as the voice of agriculture in New Mexico. As a member-driven organization with 30-plus county farm bureaus across New Mexico, they have developed legislative priorities designed to strengthen agriculture and rural New Mexico. Caitlin Spradley, the organization's Director of Communications, is helping educate state lawmakers about legislation impacting agriculture.
For New Mexico Farm and Livestock Bureau, we have 10 just very general legislative priorities that we are looking forward to representing our members on behalf of. Those legislative priorities include things like agricultural education, energy, labor, land use, natural resources and environment, rural resiliency, water, among other things. All of these topics are really relevant to our producers and their day-to-day lives on the farm and ranch, and already we're seeing some bills related to these topics. All of these legislative priorities were approved by our state board members. We are proud to be here in Santa Fe representing the grassroots policies set forth by our farmer and rancher members across the state of New Mexico.
According to the New Mexico Department of Agriculture, the total value of agriculture sector output from New Mexico totaled $3.49 billion in 2021. For the New Mexico News Network, I'm Jason Espinoza.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
On air and online. This is Roswell's home for talk radio. KEND Roswell.
Washington. Republican Congressman George Santos of New York is temporarily stepping down from his 2 congressional committees. Here's correspondent Greg Clugston.
A day after meeting with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, Santos told GOP colleagues he would not serve on his 2 assigned committees amid ongoing ethics questions. He has faced numerous calls for his resignation and is facing multiple investigations by prosecutors over his personal and campaign finances and lies about his resume and family background. Republican Tom Cole of Oklahoma said the decision was well received from the GOP conference, saying, "I think it was the appropriate thing to do." Greg Clugston, Washington.
Police say at least 10 people were wounded too critically on Monday in a drive-by shooting in Lakeland, Florida. Lakeland Police Chief Sam Taylor spoke to WTFS TV.
We thought we had 9 victims.